What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Blank Canvas in the Morning. I'm your host, Mr. No Show.
And I'm 72 the Architect.
And today, my buddy hit me up, was like, yo, No Show, let's do a Blank Canvas episode. So we back at it, ladies and gentlemen. Good old 72 the Architect and your host here, Mr. No Show Theater. Honestly, man, I didn't know when we were going to do another show, but I'm glad we're here live doing what we came to do and wreak havoc on those who don't know what Blank Canvas is, man. So we're going to share it with the world.
Hey, it's so good to be back. Just being honest and real. There's times when we can do this, and I'm glad we kind of had space to grow. First and foremost, I think it's a big thing. It's a big opportunity. I mean, you brought me into a lot of platforms from Spoon to Stereo, and now we just upgrade, and we get better and better over time. And here we are producing live right now, producing from Haps, Podbeam. I'm also on Wisdom currently, so we'll be able to simulcast in several different platforms, as well as our YouTubes, Twitches, Twitters, whatever you feel like, whatever you fits in with you get in. Hey, I'm all good with that, if you know what I'm saying. So
that's right. But for those who are new to the building, thank you for joining us. There's plenty more of us to come. But what we like to usually do is give a very valuable Stoic read in the morning, presented by my host here, 72 the Architect. And from there, we'll start getting into the main meat of the subject. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, sit back, read, open your minds to new possibilities, and see where this goes and where it leads. Because honestly, perspective is the gear to everyone's livelihood. With that, Jay, please, man, open the door for him.
all right, today for the Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday and Stephen Hanselman. He basically titles today for November 6th, Someone Else is Spinning the Thread. And the great Stoic philosopher Seneca and I can't even pronounce it, Thyestes 6:13 says, if the breaking day sees someone proud, the end day sees them brought low. No one should put too much trust in triumph. No one should give up hope of trials of improving. Clotho mixes one with the other and stops fortune from resting, spinning every fate around. And no one has had so much divine favor that they could guarantee themselves tomorrow. God keeps our lives hurtling on and spinning in a whirlwind. Now, that's titled Someone Else is Spinning the Thread. Now, Ryan Holiday happens to say, he says, the novelist Cormac McCarthy was living in a motel room when he heard a knock at the door, and it was a messenger. He had been awarded the MacArthur Genius Grant for $250,000. Unexpected events can be good as well as bad. Who could dream of such an unexpected twist? Who but Clotho, one of the three great goddesses of fate, who spins the thread of human life? To the ancients, she was the one who decided the course of events of our lives, some good, some bad. But as a playwright, Aeschylus wrote, when the gods send evil, one cannot escape it. The same true for great destiny and good fortune. Their resigned attitude might seem strange to us today, but they understood who really is in control. Not them, not us. No amount of prosperity, no amount of difficulty is certain or forever. A triumph becomes a trial becomes a triumph. Life can change in an instant. And remember today how often it does. So, the question of today that goes along with the Daily Stoic for November 6th says, it says, am I prepared for the randomness of fate or luck? Ooh.
The randomness, huh?
Yeah, so it's like no matter how what you think you planned or predicted or prepared, either when you're having a good time, don't be fooled that maybe something might glitch you or catch you, so to speak, in my opinion.
You know what gets me is when in this whole entire spinning, who is someone else is spinning the thread, it states here in line 3, no one should put too much trust in triumph. Then you have down here at the bottom, I think the second or third last sentence,
Uh-huh.
Ryan, he states that a triumph becomes a trial becomes a triumph.
Right.
So I feel like it's contradictory to the state of what's his name?
I can't even pronounce his name. I really can't.
Yeah,
But
no, it's like Thyestes or something like
yeah,
that. Either way, it seems like a contradiction to that.
right. But is it really? Think about this very carefully. Is it a contradiction? Because what I interpret that as is like enjoy the triumph, but don't let it get to your head too much. It basically means enjoy the moment, but don't let it further away from your current position that you still will have to do work. You still will face just because you finished cross the finish line doesn't mean you're not preparing for the next event, the next race, the next trial or tribulation. It means appreciate the now,
Right.
appreciate the presence for what it is. And we've seen it in so many different athletes. Some athletes just, like Kevin Durant, when he makes a bucket, he just does, thank you, move on. Straight up, that's what he does. Have you not seen him do that in
I
all his
mean, yeah.
game?
I mean, what about the ones that hold it in the air though? Just leave it in there. Just
Yep.
pause. I mean,
Yep.
is that the feeling of triumph, knowing that he can walk away, made it the basket, and just keep it up in there like Steph Curry? Like, is that what we talking about? Like,
Yeah, it could be that. And then they move on because until it's the end of the game, and even at the end of the game, you're gonna have another game. You're gonna have more
wow,
stuff.
that
You're
puts a cap
always
on the championships then too, right? I mean,
right.
you're talking about World Series like the Braves. Check this out, right?
Hmm.
My kids did not have to go to school this weekend because the triumph of the Braves winning.
Hmm.
Doesn't that strike people odd? Like the whole entire district that I'm living in, the schools insisted no school today, all
Nope.
because they won the championship.
Right. And
Wow.
isn't that and I mean for a city, it could be that's local pride. For the city of Atlanta, how long has it been? Now Atlanta has a long
Like
history of winning
90s.
championships.
And since the 90s, though, really.
Yeah. I mean, you had was it Maddox? You had Chipper
Chipper
Jones. You
Jones,
had
you're right.
yeah, you had a lot of great players. But the point is, and it doesn't matter whether it's sports, it could be just being a parent, or it can be, a businessman. It could be
Mhm.
anything. You could have those small milestones that can actually put you up on the next level. But now, when you're at the next level, are you prepared to handle? Are you going to continue to train at that next level?
Right. So that goes along with, I mean, we can look at sports as the underlining message, right? Because when you look at LeBron James and his tenacity to get things done, his look towards even after winning the championship, he's like, yo, it's time to get back on the grind. Matter of fact, screw LeBron James, Kobe Bryant. His work ethic alone set precedence to all the players in the league. And that shows you, like, no matter how many victories, how many rings you have, it's still not over
Right.
until it's over. Respect.
Yeah. And what I used to not like Kobe. I really didn't. I was like, this motherfucker, he just cocky as hell. I mean, the way that he would drive the lane and then when even clash with his own damn teammates.
Mm. It was
I
a
mean,
player in
him
him,
and
man.
Shaq were like, I'm ready to throw it down, Kobe, like, you know what I'm saying?
But when you
And
have
then
traits like that, that's, I mean, I think you would expect it, right?
well, I was watching a documentary a little bit on Bill Walton, and he was talking about his this guy from Norway that played with him um, at UCLA, and the guy got no play time, none at all. And this one dude, I can't remember his name, but Bill Walton said, he's all, who's been your greatest adversary in playing ball? And he was like, he talked about this guy, I think it's Novak, I believe. Anyway,
Mhm.
so he basically says this guy got up every day to not only get in my face to make me a better player. And when the NBA draft came around, that guy was in the top 20 of the first round of the draft picks back when Bill Walton was being drafted. And he kept on playing. And he was like a klutz like at first, but because of his size, you know, um, the head coach of the UCLA at the time, he didn't, was it Tom Wooden? Yeah, I think that's his name. Um, he didn't want him at first. He's like, "Oh," but the guy that told him, I said, "Hey, you might want this size of guy to really post up against Walton to give him the pushback because most of the guys weren't that tall,
Right.
you know, on the team." So, but the guy ended up later becoming a premier NBA athlete and guard. So, it says, think about all them years. You play behind a major player behind Bill Walton, 3 years in college, never get court time, not once. But then all of a sudden, you go to the NBA and you're still pressing, and then you're not even playing on the same tee as your boy. What does
Going
that say?
going against the grain.
Exactly. So it kind of shows you, like, if you look at life, it doesn't matter where you start, and it doesn't necessarily matter about how you finish. It's all the stuff in between that makes that experience what you are and how it's going to be. And I think this is really in relation to what we're talking about here on Blank Canvas, because the title of the show is Tech or Tyrants. Now,
Mm.
in our living experience, me and you, we've seen in the last 30 years, especially, technology just go whoop real fast.
Quick.
Because before the 1990s, you had technology moving like an inchworm. I mean, we had DOS, we had, the old green screen, remember that? And writing code. And then you get in the
Computers.
90s.
My
Go ahead.
God. See, because I grew up in a different generation than you did. So you
Uh-huh.
saw the evolution of where it was going. And
Mhm.
I was living in the practices of where it is. And then my kids, our kids, will see where it soon will be. So when
Mhm.
I look at it in the 90s, Oregon Trail, an old
Oh, I
computer
remember
game.
that. Remember
The old computer game.
that? And it come up with those janky ass those little screens, like it'd show a chuck wagon, but it was like code. It was like a block bars trying
Oh
to make a wagon or the scene.
man, it was so slow, man. Like when you look at it, how just my intro to my shows, I do the alien intro. We are now accessing your mind, and it's like the slow AOL dial up. And then when I
Mhm.
remember when people used to call the house and be like, "Hey man, I can't get in touch with you. Something's wrong with your line. It's always busy." I was
Mhm.
online. Like you couldn't get in touch with me because I was surfing the net.
Right.
That's crazy.
Right. And how does that work? You're just like, and remember, it's like that.
Yeah,
And sometimes it would take so damn long, and you'd be like, "What the?" And then, or, if someone called, it would totally mess up everything. Like you'd
everything.
see that call coming through, and you're like, "Wait, I'm on the computer right now. I got to call you back." you know, or it
It,
would just knock off your connection.
it was terrible, bro. It was so terrible.
But even coming back, I mean, growing up and seeing in the 90s, my first exposure, I believe 1997 was my first real look at a computer screen, and I'm seeing AOL or Prodigy and other services back then, and Yahoo also. And we had chat boxes, and then
Mhm.
we had JPEGs, like, oh, you're talking to some female on the online. It's like, oh, what do you look like? And then trying to convert that little picture into a JPEG into a digital file that would take so damn long to upload it. Yeah, that's what I look like. Oh, fuck that.
Th-
I'm not gonna be
That
with down
that
with that.
started the birth of catfishing, to be
It
honestly.
did. It did. Trolling, catfishing. I mean, you name it, you have it. We had a time where people were just being clowns. And
Yeah.
I didn't think about it much then, but now warp speed it to today. Now look at what we got today. I mean, you got Metaverse that's supposedly releasing on December 1st. Facebook is
That's the release date?
I believe
Meta?
December 1st is the launch date. But
Why would
think
he do it in quarter four though? Like, why wouldn't he just do it in quarter one?
um I think the reason why is because he wants to recover all the development costs to make the launch date of day one, all that investment cost that he lost from
I
Facebook.
see what you're saying.
I mean, I've heard a lot of tech guys talk speculation, but I'm not an expert on this. I'm just going off according to what I've read, what I've heard. I mean, and some of these people that I hear from are, I'd say on the upper levels of tech. I mean, sometimes they're speaking language. I'm like, yo, you're speaking Chinese to me, man.
It's a whole
But
new, yeah, it's a whole new language, bro.
right, right. And I'm just like, oh, I'm a nerd, but I'm not the geek yet. I got to earn my level to geekdom so I can talk what you talk. But I started defining terms like NFTs, blockchain, you know, different coins, and how that really is like changing our world so fast. And then we add the bad one. We add COVID into there, and look at in just a year and a half, almost 2 years now, how our whole world has changed so much, where the dollar will disappear at some point in the near future.
Do you
Digital
really think it's
currency,
gonna just disappear? Like
it'll be
full
gone.
on?
It'll be gone, in my opinion. You're not gonna have paper printed anymore. Just like the US Mint has stopped printing coin. That's why so many restaurants, they can't get enough change. So they ask you, "Hey, can you pay with card?" So they're kind of pushing and manipulating to like, yeah, pay with card. But those of us who understand, when you pay with card, it presents a mindset of no limitations, just swipe or tap. You know what I mean?
Well, I
Like,
mean, it also creates the data that whatever you buy, when you buy it, how frequently you buy these things. It's all being categorized under your information sheet. So versus the dollar, the paper, the tender, the
yeah,
trust, it was more or less just like, hey, I can pay you $100 under the table. You don't have to put it under your taxes.
right?
I get it.
Right? I mean, it's it's tricky business. But what they're trying to do, I was learning from some other tech gurus, as I call them, guys. They're talking about NFTs and then talking about the blockchain, and now adding regulation now under the new restructuring of the current what do they call it? Not the bill. I hate when I have this brain fart. It's the budget, the future budget, and the
Mhm.
infrastructure bill, and what's included in what that thing is. It's like, no wonder why a lot of I'm not going to use the parties at B. I'm not going to name. I'm not going to give them their clout. But let's say right and left, they're clashing over how much and what it actually includes for infrastructure. But a lot of people are giving it pushback. Even seeing people from in their own damn parties are just like, no, 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 no. I don't know about this. You're
Mm.
asking for too much. We don't understand, and we're giving leverages to entities, not countries, entities
Yeah.
outside. And just to give a little history, coins, Bitcoin was developed as a black market trading
Yeah.
tool.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden, how many different coins are there? And what are the
See,
premier ones?
this is my problem. Um, every time the people find time to make a connectivity portion of their lives happen without being regulated or taxed or involved with any government entity, they ended up shutting it down. Like China, they shut Bitcoin down for the longest,
Mm-hmm.
shut down the whole entire service, so nobody can interact or exchange any of the information. And then you look at countries like Venezuela. Um, there's another country out there that's actually implemented using blockchain, and they're surviving off it peer to peer without too much government regulation. But now that they're seeing the income generate through the people who are known to be not so well off, now those people are skyrocketing. Now they're becoming somebody to really recognize. And that's almost as if there's a problem with the day-to-day mundane 9 to 5 workers are finally experiencing the power of wealth. And it's too much. If the whole world gets this wealth now, I want you to all have it. Now, if you spending your time making these transactions, digital currencies, okay, we're going to come in and make sure we regulate, tax you on how much you made, just like if you were to do it with any kind of cash dollar.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous. Man.
Right.
We actually have a time right now to separate ourselves from government rule. I mean, government oversight or too much government oversight, and it's all being switched around due to the fact that people are becoming millionaires. Easy now.
Right.
Easy.
And here's what my fear is about coin. Okay, so in the last 2 weeks, we saw Shiba Inu as a coin literally jump. A guy became a multi-billionaire
In a year.
overnight. He bought, what was it? He bought 13,000 share or 13,000 coins of Shiba Inu.
13, no, $13,000 spent.
Oh, $13 spent on, yeah.
13,000. Yeah. So he spent 13,000 and probably had like over $1 billion worth of just coin. And now that it's going up the way it is, I mean, you look at it, it'll go up 30%, 30 points, 60 points. So it's like, wait a minute, are you kidding me? If I go to took, let's just say, for instance, anybody who got that tax money, the stimulus check, they put 1,000 of that into Shiba, right? That could have initially turned itself into 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. Depends on how many points it
Yeah,
went up.
and would they have to pay taxes on that? See,
They
the
would.
government doesn't have enough regulation on it yet, but they're getting there. They're really getting at creating brand new policy,
Mm.
especially under the new the new budget, the infrastructure proposal. That's in there. They're writing language for things that don't even exist yet. They don't even have the tech, but they want, hey, I'm going to have this back open door. And so Mark Zuckerberg with Facebook, I mean, he poured a lot of money into Oculus. Now, Oculus has been out for a little while, more than 4 years, I
Mm-hmm.
believe. I think they're on version 3 or going on version 4. But what it represents now, VR, it represents VR, and VR is just a vehicle. Now, what is a VR? Virtual reality, and that is you wear as a headset, and it presents your senses to not just be in the physical world but a metaverse world, as they would call it, a matrix, so to speak. And where this all started, in 1991, according to some different sources including Wikipedia, this is 1991 to 1993. A company called CES released different consoles, as well as Sega, utilizing for the company Sega, and the VR One Motion simulator for an arcade attraction, fully released in 1994. So they'd been working. There's other investors and companies that are like, wait, this is the next wave. I mean, think about it. You're approaching the ages of Star Trek, not Star Wars. I mean, what's to stop us next beaming up to a planet, or hey, I want to be in Chicago in about 1 minute, and that getting into that before we can get to that point in the science is you can put a headset on and you can be in a completely different world. You can be in Egypt in your head. But what they're finding, what the reports are, that vertigo happens to be a condition that comes with VR when you have the headset, and they warn you, tell you, hey, don't put this on too long. But what does that mean to our finances? What does that mean to our work? Well, guess what? Facebook released. Um, Facebook now just recently stated that they're getting out of currently facial recognition. They're putting it on the shelf because everything is going into the VR world where avatars, your representation in an avatar format, is more important than actually showing your face. Now, face is good for.
What was
Yeah.
his company name that did that? Because he was talking about there was a company that he was implementing. Starts with an H. Horizon, I think. I don't
I'm
know,
not sure, but I'm really curious,
but
to
he
see.
was doing that. He's creating a world where people can walk around and literally go to work, shop, and it all comes to your door once you're done. So let's say, for instance, you want to go grocery shopping, but you don't want to leave your house.
DoorDash now.
Nah. Put the little goggles on.
Yeah.
You
Are you really
shop
hungry? Are you really hungry?
virtually, and you go in the company that may be registered in that shop on this virtual platform. Initially starts ordering your stuff because a lot of companies now, if you pay attention to what's going on, they're dealing less with people or employees, and they're implementing systems that will have actually work. So grocery stores like Rouse in California or Kroger here, they're going to start hiring people to do warehouse work inside of a grocery store. So when you get orders, you pick orders pertaining to the shopping cart, and then
Mm-hmm.
you put it aside, and then the driver will come by and take it, or maybe the autonomous vehicles, because there's trucks out there that have been running for 10 years now, building this R&D to implement this new setup where people don't have to be in the trucks anymore. And they stated in this 18-wheeler research and development project they've been doing for 10 years that the braking versus human and computerized driving was a lot less with the computer than it would be for a human. So they're taking that to an account, meaning less braking, more flow, quicker response time. So they're taking that into account. And when you look at grocery stores, and if this metaverse becomes the new thing, not just with Facebook or Meta, but for instance, companies like Decentraland. I don't know if you are hip on Decentraland in the crypto world, but what Decentraland is aimed to do is they're focusing on creating a meta world where people can literally log in, sign up, walk around, kind of like how people do on Roblox or um what's that old Nintendo game where you would run around with the Wii? On the Wii, you'd have those little fictional characters. You
Oh,
run
okay,
around
yeah.
and you shop and you get whatever you need and it comes to you directly. So if this is the next step, then what does that say for people who are in this field? Facebook, log in, walk around, meet people as an avatar. It's fucking ridiculous, man.
Right. And let's look at just even the word metaverse. Now, I typed up what movies are coined in certain movies using metaverse. Now, first one in 1982, Tron. I remember Tron as if it were yesterday because back in the day, that was like technologically, that was the shit. I
Yeah, it
mean,
was.
and you had a combination of what like neon lights and what would seem a digital world, and our introduction to just even the thought of AI, artificial intelligence, the machine. Then the next movie, you got world famous The Matrix, you know, and what kind of controversy did that create? I mean, people refer to the Matrix constantly. Are we really in the Matrix or not? And then you got the next one after that, Ready Player One, which is probably most recent, and that was interesting because that movie showed by putting on goggles they could take the adventure or racing to a high new level without actually dying. But what they do find is like it does have a physical feedback to your brain that can cause certain health conditions like vertigo, can even cause a stroke. It can cause brain damage, and they do warn about this. And I was curious, then we've got another movie called, or a novel, Snow Crash. Oh, here's one, Tom Cruise's movie, Minority Report. Now, every conspiracist knows that just even that alone, everyone knows that Report is scary because you're predicting something and you're sending in a cop before the person actually commits the crime and then punishing them harshly. So what does that say? And then they're using impasse. And then we have a series called Ultra Carbon.
Oh God, yeah.
I've never watched
Okay,
that.
so let's. I'm an anime guy, right? I love anime, cartoons, and whatnot. When I get a chance to sit with my kids,
Mhm.
and there was a specific one that really stood out the most for me, which was Sword Art Online. And
Mhm.
those who don't know what Sword Art Online is, just let me just give you the beginning of the whole show. So, in a sense, they're all waiting for this new game to drop, and in this game, you are immersed into you are literally pushed into it. Like you log in and you're there. Like it's augmented reality, and it's virtual reality all in the same, and you experience it like it would be day to day. And in doing so, what happens in this show is that they get stuck in there, and if you die in the game, you die in real life because the connectivity that is associated to you in the game, it's going off the neuroscience. So your brain's connected, and if your brain is functioning in this realm, then it feels real to you. So with Sword Art Online, really played off the idea of how video games led the way into this idea. Then Sword Art Online 2 came out. I think also it was 3, where they implemented AR, which is augmented reality. So let's say,
Mhm.
for instance, I'm walking outside. I think Pokemon was doing that, where you can walk outside with your phone
Yeah.
and you can literally catch a Pokemon anywhere in the world. Well, Sword Art Online, I think season 2 was geared for that. And what was going on was people would walk normally. If you're ready to play a game, you get a notification on your device. Oh, okay, they're having a game right down the street over here. Log in and put your glasses on, and boom, you see what most people don't see. And it's kind of in this newer movie with Ryan Reynolds, Free Guy,
Yeah,
right?
I saw that. I didn't watch the movie, but I didn't wanna watch it. I was like, I saw the premise of it, and I was just like, but hey, check this out. Remember that movie Gamer with Gerard Butler?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, think about
And
how
Luda Chris.
related
Don't
that,
forget Luda. Luda.
you know what I'm saying? Like, the guy that from 300, I mean, the whole premise of that is he has to serve off a debt by being the actual, like, he's the gamer, right? And he's running around and doing, and someone's controlling his body and his actions through a VR set, you
That's
know?
crazy.
And and I mean, this is to create fear. I mean, these movies have impacts and they set up for they really do set up like anticipation of technologies that are to come. And Matrix was definitely with no exception. I mean, look at what did Terminator do to people? And what is this doing to people now? People are
Wow.
afraid of the machine more now than ever.
I mean, the premise of movies and reality stories, um, dystopian fear,
Mhm.
it's all a crutch within the dynamics of how people are creating their own um, foreshadowing. So, for instance, let's say the Matrix wasn't even a thing, right?
Mhm.
When she wrote that story, Matrix, nobody had any idea what the Matrix was, but they kind of had an idea what Alice in Wonderland was.
Mhm.
Um, when people started looking into gamer, right, as you say, they weren't looking into Ready Player One like they are, because they're not thinking that this is the new form of reality. It's subject to how they live their life. They're not really, oh, this is going to be every day. They're not thinking that. Like, nobody thought the internet was going to be the almighty gateway for not only relationships, schooling, knowledge, information. No one thought the internet was going to be that. They all were so reliable because our parents before us, they thought the library was the place to be. They thought interacting with normal people in day-to-day routines was the normal thing to be. Going to a job for 40 years was normal thing. They didn't
Right.
expect the internet to do what it was aimed to do. Now that we have this accessibility, people are floored with the potential what's happening. And the older generation, which is my parents, they like 60 years old, 60 to 70 years old, they're not, you know what I'm saying? They don't really care because by
Yeah,
the
my
time
dad's
they,
like, "Hey, I don't want no damn cell phone. I'm not gonna be a part of the big man in charge. He's not gonna get my imprint or some
right,
shit." My dad's
right.
like straight up, he's like, "I don't want no cell phone. I got a regular phone. That's all I need." So that he's like, "Hey, I like the analog or I like the manual method of life. It works for me. I'm old enough to where I could get to the point of dying, or what do I really need all of that?"
Mm-hmm.
And are we turning into that at point? And here's what it really begs upon, and this is why I really think it applies to the title Tech or Tyrants. Is there ethical design? Is there ethical advocacy within technology? And because there's a lot of things we didn't think about. I mean, look at the cell phone today. It's a freaking portal. That's what it is. You got billions, trillions of destinations you can land, and you're giving that to your kids?
Yeah,
That's dangerous,
it's powerful.
and even now, everything that we're saying is being recorded for data analytics,
Mm-hmm.
machine learning. So you can actually get better probably in the next 20 years, you can get better at AI design, getting so close to human personalities. that it might be hard for us to tell. And what it's doing is, like, for example, me and you seeing each other on cam, we know we exist, but people walking outside have masks on and they don't, like, looking at another human being is being challenged. What's the necessity of actually being? I mean, and you can even go back to, remember Demolition Man, where what's her, Sandra Bullock and Sylvester Stallone. She goes, "I want to have sex," and he's like, "Oh, okay, I'm down with this." He's ready to take off his jacket. Nah, nah, what are you doing? What are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like she's all, no, no, and she's
Thought
all,
that
I'm
was
gonna go
weird
get.
as hell, bro. I was like, oh, they about to do it. Okay.
Right, right, right. So she's put, and he's like, "Oh, wait, and back in my day, we did the hubba jubba." What the
Yeah.
hell's the hubba jubba, bro?
Yeah. I mean, oh my God. That, like, the time that we see how women and men are getting their jollies off in now, right? They're like, dudes is getting ridiculed for having their own female toy, right? And now women have toys for
Bob.
years,
Yeah.
and now it's like it's a problem. So when we look at the whole dynamic shifting, people are interested in sleeping with computerized um machines, man.
Hmm. Remember Zapp and
Not
Roger?
me. I'm
Zap
just
even sang a song, "Computerized." You know,
yeah.
you know.
Computer love.
Yeah, that. Yeah, I mean, I mean, for real, like, but, but I mean, he just used a filter to make that sound with on a microphone, and you hear that now, and you're like, dude, that just sounds so 80s, like
So
so low tech.
we have her with Joaquin Phoenix. I don't know if anyone has.
Oh,
I haven't
I
seen it
never
yet.
saw it, but I've seen clips of it.
Right. So he falls in love with an AI system. Then you have I Am Robot with Will Smith fighting against a robot that became considered to be human. Then you have this new movie with, I think that might be Tom Hanks. There's rumors that that might not be Tom Hanks, but called Finch, right?
Oh
Where
yeah,
he
yeah.
deals with a computer that develops himself as AI. Free Guy, like I said before, I didn't know. Um, I'm not gonna watch it again because it's a premise already been done before. But basically, for those, spoiler alert, AI. Just know that. Then you have a movie. Um, what movie was it? It was about how the computer started developing. Oh no, Johnny Depp in Transcendence, where he merged himself with the AI systems. He transcended from a material body into a computerized. Then you have the movie with Keanu Reeves. Um, it's on Netflix. I didn't watch it, but
Did you
basically,
watch
there's
Johnny Mnemonic? Remember that?
Johnny Mnemonic, another one. Like all these movies have, even from the '90s, have been telling us throughout the course of time where they're implementing human and computerized mindset. So it's crazy. It's just it blows my mind that this is the normacy, even with altered carbon the way it is, right? And I honestly think people will be in line signing up to get augmented, add a
Hmm.
extra feature, you know, put something in their head to make them see faster, or put something in their legs to make them run faster. I mean, for the people who are handicapped, it's a go, it's a blessing, right? They can start
Hmm.
walking
They can
again.
live. They can live close to pretty much a normal life through
Right.
this world.
But then
And
you
what
take it
about
away from
training
them.
surgeons? What about training surgeons how to operate?
To get updates, bro. Hey, y'all ready for your new update? How many
Right?
surgeries will you need to go through to get to the next level of what you need to be? Like, oh, I'm on my 4.0 right now. These knees, yeah, they're 3.0. Next year, I'm gonna get the 4.0. Bruh, they already talking about 7.0. How much is it gonna take to get you, you know what I'm saying, to be on the track and field again? A couple $1 million? A couple
Hmm.
100,000? Like, it's gonna get to the point where this video will be played 20 years from now. And those who are watching this video are going to be thinking to themselves, like, wait a minute, I see what they're talking about because I want to be a robot. I want to have strong arms, I want to have a robotic arm,
Right?
and then they're going to have robotic fights. There was a
What's that
movie
movie
on,
with, what's his name, who played the played the Wolverine. He did that Blue Steel, I think it was called.
Blue Steel, Blue Steel.
Was that what it's called? He plays like this washed up boxer, and then he fights robots in a boxing ring.
Oh, Real Steel with
Real Steel. Oh yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Which is, I mean, but that was all computers, though. You know, I mean, there was no livelihood into it. It was mixing the human design into a computerized model. That's kind of what it was gearing to. But then when you look into, I just had it. There was a movie that speaks on that premise. I'll think about it later. But
Mhm.
yeah, it's inevitably it's a new thing, man. People are willing to get this update, and I'm sure of it. It's going to be the newest thing that happens in maybe 100 years. It could be.
Right. It's no joke. I mean, like what we I mean, there's got to be ethical design in all of it. The possibilities. I mean, if you're going to take, I mean, go 120 years back, right, and look at the industry back then. People were afraid of being taken out by machines. Like, do you think the tractor? Simple thing as the tractor, and how many people that took out that used to make a good living in farming, and then it pushed people to work into the industrial complex, going to big cities, like going to Chicago, working in meat slaughterhouses, and being in a part of a Ford assembly line. What that did, and then there had to be ethical design even in that, because they were in factories back then. They were working way too much, way too far, and there was a dysfunction, like families weren't connecting, and that you still
Mhm.
see that today. I mean, single parent families is no accident. This happened part mostly because of the way that things are designed. But
What
do we
you mean?
have ethical views on how that, what can we not let ourselves go? Because whenever you create a rule, someone's gonna be, oh hell no, you ain't gonna tell me what to do. And that's why blockchain and even Bitcoin existed. They're like, nah, you're not going to tell me I'm not going to get taxed. I'm not going to be tracked on the money that I use. My trade is not going to be tracked. No, fuck y'all. I'm going to be in the black market. And while y'all trying to figure out this damn value of whether the dollars versus the euro, people are going to be funding this, and I'm still going to be living as a fat cat, sitting down on a couch, and I ain't had to do shit just but to shit, eat, sleep, and just scratch my balls. Hey, like seriously.
But see,
And
that's where I'm at right now. The reason why I learned crypto and NFTs the way I have been for the last several months, years, and continuing to go on is because it's not for me. It's for my
Mhm.
kids.
Right, right. Are you making the investment for your kids to be able to be caught up? Because, and like I was telling Adriana last night, I said, if I don't work at learning how to code, my profession will be phased out in such a way where I'll be like, who's going to support me? Who's going to take care of my family? Are my kids going to be able to have a fertile future? Am I nurturing their nature?
Right.
Straight up. I mean, you can't get away from that. So either, and my girl was saying, because I was looking, I'm scared of VR, honestly. I told some friends on even on Clubhouse, I said, I'm not willing to buy it just yet.
Why
I
you
know what it,
why though? Like what's causing you to look and have withdrawals with the whole idea of it?
from my observation, the rest of the world, the more and more that people don't actually know how to deal with each other up close and personal or physically, and you're going to alleviate and make up these conditions, whether it be ADHD, ADD, anxiety, all these things. These are becoming because we have scapegoats in technology, and
Mhm.
it's not forcing people to learn things. Look, I mean, when I was reading Steve Jobs' biography, and it was talking about how he didn't want his children necessarily to have access until after they were 18 years old, because he knew back then his design had problems, and he didn't necessarily want to say it. And everyone else, on all the wealthy people that I know, most they raise their kids like, okay, in the Bay Area, they got this school called Woodruff, and it has no tech whatsoever. No one's allowed with phones. None of the kids. They all learn with wooden toys and mechanical things, because the premise is to learn that first. Learn how to behave with real people, learn how to work with real things, because technology, I've watched my daughter Bella, when I first gave her an iPad, or she used my iPad, and watched that kid suck it up like a sponge at 4 years old, like so quick, bam, bam, bam. And she was going through websites quicker than I could blink, and she was knowing what she was doing. So if that's the case, what gives me fear but doesn't terrify me necessarily, um, and doesn't paralyze me, it means that because of the design and the ability that what human beings can actually do with that access without careful evaluation, and we haven't set up the guidelines that can help protect our bodies, our
Mhm.
spirit, and our minds, from dangers that we are not aware of. Are they really dangerous?
Okay. So I'll actually in the opposite. I prefer my kids become literate, not literate. Yeah, more knowledgeable is a better
Familiar?
word.
Yeah.
Very familiar with these tech devices, these cryptos, these stocks, these items. I even tell my son, like, it's up to him if he wants to do it or not. Now, I'm not going to force you to pay attention to what's happening. I'm going to give you insight. I told him, look at all these cryptos, look at all these NFTs. You remember collecting Pokemon growing up on those little cards. Now you can
Mhm.
collect baseball players, football players, and
And they're
now
NFTs.
they're transitioning to NFTs. Now you can collect these NFTs in a digital space. And that's where we're at right now. There's no longer printing of anything. We're going to stop that. We're going to start developing NFTs. Now, here's the kick. If you can develop your own NFT, you're sold, right?
Right. If
So
one
what I've
kicks
been
off, you
doing,
keep every time it's sold, you keep making residuals on it.
right? So what I've done now, have I've been um low key designing things because there's a new platform. I
I
found
think
a
we
new
talked about
platform.
this in private.
Um, it's gearing people up to fund their own adventure, right?
Mhm.
Now, before I let anybody know about this, you got to subscribe and tune in because everything is happening is real. Like this show, comment, share it with your friends. Let everybody know what is the subject matter that we are discussing here. Let them know that this is not just no fairy tale discussion. This is people, real life in the act, talking about progressing the movement. And this movement is real. And if you're not focusing now, you're going to get pushed like how people in the 90s did going into 2000s with the internet boom, the .com boom. And if you're hip on it now, you'll see where it's going.
Mhm.
Snoop Dogg of all people is making his own NFT and he's made millions. Ty Dolla Sign sold his first album, one of his first albums, as an NFT for
I
a
saw
dollar,
that.
and he made millions of dollars off that NFT. And now we're looking at, let's say, going into a no, going to a, let's say, Walmart or a CD Now warehouse, or maybe even checking out um, Best Buy. Even if you even walk into Best Buy anymore, finding an album, right? I used to do that. Find an album, find the one that had the best album cover on it, read it
Mhm.
from front to
They're
back.
worth
Like,
money. They're worth
yeah.
a they're worth a shit
Now
ton of
just
money.
take that same premise and slide it into a digital atmosphere. What happens? It's all you. Let's say you know somebody who can draw. You purchase to get it, you get it commissioned, you get it made, you have your album art done. And then you add songs to the album art. Each one of your album arts, you add songs, you make 7 or 20 different NFTs. Sell them all for 50 cents to a dollar, 75 cents, whatever. And it constantly gains because people are buying that one in packaged product. Or you got a Michael Jordan picture dunking on people with his tongue out, and it spins in 3D, right? That's a
Mhm.
new NFT. People are buying those because they're going to be worth money one day. And plus, if Michael Jordan endorsed it, how many people are going to buy it?
Right. I
It's
mean, how
crazy.
much is the logo, the Michael Jordan, worth now? Just the logo. That's just the guy, the split legs and the ready to dunk. How much is just that logo worth alone? Because Nike has had to, I believe Nike's had to reevaluate the intellectual property rights. And Michael Jordan, I think I could be wrong, but I was reading something somewhere where, um, they had an ongoing contract that's still being used because they're still making the shoes. But I think he's even taking it to the next level as well, and taking it beyond just Nike. And he can do that because Air Jordan is a brand specifically, not just collaborating with Nike, but outside of it too. So, but Nike has dibs on it for now. But who's to say in the near future that
Bruh.
his
If that
kids walk away?
contract gets up, they're probably gonna kill him. Like, I hate to
Well,
be rude, that guy, but
I
like they
bet, I
did to
bet,
Michael
I bet that,
Jackson.
I bet that contract is worth more than $100 billion
I believe
right
it.
now. I'll
I
bet
believe it.
money on it because what it represents, it's an iconic
Symbol.
brand
Yeah, it's a brand for
and design, and where
yeah.
it takes people. I mean, I've never bought a pair of Jordans ever. I've wore one Jordan t-shirt because it was given to me, but I've never invested into it because I knew what it represented. It wasn't about the player. It was to sell to people to take advantage of their dollars, because look at the design of a shoe. It's rubber and plastic. You're going to charge $250, $300, even $1,000 for select versions of Jordans, and people will fight, kill, steal. They will
Yeah.
manipulate each other for that branded piece of equipment that has that authentic logo. And how many times is it ripped in China and Korea and all that all them other places? But
Honestly,
with and
man, I look at it as confusion, right?
Mhm.
Because throughout history, we've seen what Michael Jordan has done. He hasn't really promoted the best for people in the communities. What he has done is put his logo on, I believe, Michigan, the college, Michigan, the college campus in Michigan, the UNC
Mhm.
college. Then you also have him on golf, hats, shirts, shoes, socks, underwear, Hanes. I don't know if he's still sponsored by Hanes, but long story short, he's invested the majority of the money that we as consumers, not saying we as you and me spending on it, but a lot of that money went back into privatizing prisons. I don't know if he's still in it today. I haven't seen any information in that regard, but long story short, he took that money and invested into it. The same prison systems that hip hop artists were perpetuating other young minds to join up and get involved into, not by helping, but by forcibly doing things that go against the build of a lot of people, the building up of a lot of people. So when you see it like that, it's like, why do I invest into purchasing these things? I admit, I at one time I did buy a Jordan shirt. I bought a pair of Jordan basketball shorts, and that was it. I didn't buy any shoes. The pants were like $65, bro, and that was the last time I ever bought them, ever.
And how much do they make them for? Probably not even 5.
Probably like for $2, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Now,
Like,
now let's use you as a little bit. Look at the fly hat that the Mr. No Show's wearing. Look at that merch. Now, just that merch, right, and that logo right there, how much that could be worth in the long term. No Show Theater, think about it. Even our brand, our label, Blank Canvas.
I'm
I
already
mean,
working on that, man.
we're speaking. We talked about this earlier this year. We talked about our vision of what we could do at Blank Canvas, and it's not necessarily on hold. We haven't had much time to really sit down and talk about what our furthering our vision, but even putting it on the blockchain and making us both and our families mutual interests. But to
Bro, my
also get
kids,
back, yeah.
they're already they're already sitting here looking at me trade my cryptos, buy into cryptos. My wife, we sit there and talk about purchasing certain cryptos. Like I showed us, like, babe, $26, buy some Shiba Inu and see what you get. She
Mhm.
bought it. And then she's like, babe, look at it, went up 17 points. I was like, all right, take it out. Take $5 out. What? Take $5 out. When it hits red, use that same $5 to buy again. Okay. She did it. So now she went up like 20 points.
So
Oh,
that's
babe, the $5
compounding
up.
interest. That's compounding your interest in your investment. That's
So
business
she is
101.
getting hands-on experience because she always told me when I was getting into crypto, she didn't know what I was doing. Like she's like, I don't believe in that stuff. I said, oh, you believe in a credit card?
Mhm.
Oh, you believe in that money's supposed to be backed by gold that you have never seen in your life? You
Right.
believe that, but you don't trust the system. And she's like, whatever. And then I kept on doing it. I kept investing and kept buying. And then she would see how much money I have stocked up in my crypto. Like, I have so
Right.
much money in my crypto. She's like, why don't you take some of that money and pay off some of our bills? Because if I take it out now, I'm losing our future. Not only my future, your future, but our kids' future. And the point is, we're so new with this technology. We are dealing with the newest form of tyranny, right?
Right, and how that's can be there, all the business and political politics, which goes hand in hand. They're trying to control the rules. See,
mm,
you can't. Here's the beautiful thing about tech is on the digital highways. There's really no restrictions. I don't care. You try to, you can create your own VPN, and it could be sourced in Paris at this moment, but I'm in Thailand, or I could be in California, and you're in Switzerland, and it'll show us all over. So they're having a hard time to track assets. And by creating these digital intellectual property rules, see, even my profession in the legal business, intellectual property right now, as it stands, is probably the highest producing income for lawyers, legal professionals, all alike, because now our jobs are our occupation is being threatened. So if you are not becoming a trailblazer, getting familiar and writing script and code, you, by the time you figure it out, are going to be already left out and ass on the street. It's just
yeah.
straight up like that.
Have you thought about like selling your consultations and your
Yeah.
information through
uh,
Fiverr and such?
Not on Fiverr, but there are other digital institutions that I won't release on air because this is my
I got you.
investment.
I got
But
you.
but the point is like, even me and my lady talked about this. I mean, there's things like, for example, what is the next most valuable thing besides tech? Food and water. Well, you're now discovering, and I'm already in it, agriculture brokers. You don't need to have a lot of experience to do this. You really don't.
Hmm.
People are brokeraging water rights, brokeraging food rights, seeds, how you're going to ingest things. I mean, the world is being redesigned in such a fast pace with all of this needs and necessities. People are not having to live in major metropolises. That's why all these people are moving to Georgia, Texas, Alabama, Florida from California. There's a mass exodus. We're in a
Mhm.
drought still, and
Out in
a lot of.
California right now is drought season for y'all still?
Yeah, it's still we've only had a little bit of rain. I mean, if you look at our reservoirs, they're bone dry. Even Lake Tahoe itself went down significantly.
Sure.
First time, and I believe it was like 60, 70 years that the lake levels ever even came close to going down as far as it is. When I read that, I was like, excuse me. But then we see all the fires, the
Mm,
effects of the environment, and what I can say, what are causing all these fires, and it is an ecosystem war. It really is. The environment is taking a hit. And when see, here's what I could explain in short to how important the Sierras and trees are important to the mountains, to the whole environment of the rest of the country. Because when it rains, all that water is stored in reservoirs and lakes and even underground, you know, water tables. And from
mhm,
that feeds these trees, and these trees release also they take in the carbon, they release different types of minerals and components into the world, which also creates moisture. So in our jet stream across the oceans, as the oceans heated up at times, it produces moisture, clouds, and then and it's kind of like a recycling system, one feeds the other. So without this taking place, and all these fires taking out all these trees, it's getting hotter. Ocean levels are rising. I mean, look at New York. Just in the last few months, New York flooded. How many people died in the flash flooding of New York?
that's not really talked about as much, bro.
Yep. Oh, guess who's here?
Oh shit! I see
Is
a
the
wall.
cybercopter
I
gunship
see
in
a
this?
wall.
Oh, I see a hand.
Oh,
Well, what's
oh,
going on? He's
oh,
got a lava lamp. Come on, bro. Hey, are you afraid to show your face? Come on now.
ladies and gentlemen, like and subscribe. Share this with your friends. Let's let the world get in on this.
Here
Tech
we
or
go.
tyrants? Let's get it. What up, my guy?
What's goody, man? Just getting off of work.
Oh, we see that. We see with the neon yellow. Hey, did you come in with the warning flags letting us know that the cybercopter gunship was going to lay down and slay down?
Shot, shot, shots has entered the building.
All right, let me land. Here we go.
Ladies
There
and
he
gentlemen,
is, man.
over on Wisdom, just let you know, we've added a good friend of ours who's been a part of Blank Canvas this year is Cybercopter, Cybershots. You can find him on Instagram. You can find him on Anchor. You can find him on what is it, iHeartRadio, and all these other good places. But he uses the platform of Cybershots with the Cybercopter gunship. Yeah, he be slaying with that. I know we know about that.
Shh. Hey, I heard you guys. Not to cut you off, Jason. I appreciate that. Good to be here. What's up? No show like that hat digging it. So what are we talking about? Technology still, or
The title of the show is called Tech or Tyrants.
okay?
So
Yeah.
technology is affecting of how, let's just say, the powers that be instituting prosperity, where you can make it, how you can get it, and will you still be following? Some people might call it a digital slavery. Some people might say it's an institution to keep the 1% in power. But we're not necessarily going to go down that rabbit hole, but we are in a hole in itself, and we're the light. And y'all who are listening right now are also being a part of that spectrum, that movement.
Okay. Okay. Because I recently just did an episode on the new update on the Bitten Fruit phone. I don't want to say the
Mm-hmm.
name; 'cause they're not paying me. And did you guys hear about the new update that they're having?
Mm-mm.
What are they
It's
talking about?
the hearing impaired. Yeah. So
No.
okay, they're doing. Yeah, I just did an episode on it. My latest episode. And what it is for the hearing impaired, right? So you can put it like your Bluetooth or your headphones or whatever, and you can hear other people's conversations. Well, actually, it's for the hearing impaired. But now you know that people, once they get this out there, they're going to be able to listen to everyone else's technology. I mean, technology conversation. Now
They
that
already
got me.
are.
Okay,
you
yeah,
know.
that's what I'm saying. Just basically your phone. Now imagine that your phone is basically one night standing. You know what I'm saying? Crossbreeding with another phone. You see what I'm saying? And then
Did he
imagine
say
that phone.
that right? Did I just hear that? You mean I'm gonna get down with my lady and hey, I could be the ultra performant player, and so can she?
I'm just saying, imagine if you're like at the mall, right? And
Uh-huh.
you're using this device, you're not hearing impaired, but you're hearing somebody's conversation at the other end of the mall or within your vision. And what if you're listening to some shit you're not supposed to hear? You know what I'm saying?
Like a drug deal gone? Like, I
Allegedly,
mean,
educational purposes.
I think it's I think it's good that we find ways to help those who are born with something and it gets taken away, or they aren't
Mhm.
born with it at all and they get the advantage of it. For
Right,
instance, those new sciences that help people see, those new sciences that help people hear. Now even the technology allow people to use machine mechanisms to help them walk if they are considered to be paralyzed, or
right,
even like my brother who's now an amputee who has um, this cast steel cast leg now. It really shows you there are some benefits to a lot of the advancements in technology, and that doesn't stop there. And if I'm gonna have to listen to your show, Cyber, because that is kind of creepy, the fact that they're making these susceptible to transferring information off of wireless technology, which is almost Bluetooth capability. I mean, I'm gonna have to listen to it. I don't want to say too much that reveals your show, but I'm
Shh, we
guessing
gotta leave
it has to
more
do
room
with
for a show later.
no, reveal that. I can share. What you talking about? Nah, that's cool,
You're
man.
giving out our secrets, damn it.
yeah, yeah. Can't do that here. We got to leave a blank canvas so people can paint their picture when they tune into each one of our shows. So I get it. Yeah.
Man, I need a light, man. I need some a light up in here.
Oh yeah, man. It's okay. Stay chocolate, bro. I'm
Make
just
Hey,
an Amazon wish list. Hey, one of your subscribers could give you a Merry Christmas and hey, add a like, give some tech, give us some equipment to our friends who make good equipment. I donated to a wish list on a person I know's a wish list, and I bought them a microphone just the other day because I know they wanted to do. work so hard with podcasting. So I bought somebody a $60 mic, and they're gonna get it, and it's gonna come to them in the week of Christmas because you can time delay this shit when it comes out. So somebody can be a secret Santa. Hey, help Cybershots get some lighting. You know what I'm
Nah,
saying?
nah, man, I got lights. I just got out the car and jumped on the air.
I got you. Yeah.
Come on, man.
He
Hey
wasn't ready
man, I'm trying
for
to
it.
promote you to get free stuff. Come on now.
You know what it is.
But we're in a, ladies and gentlemen, for those who are tuning in, we are in a change of how we operate. There's no longer the simple going into a bank and dealing with deposits or cashing your check. There's no longer dealing with selling your house through a bank. We're in a situation where you can do it all through your phone, do it through your computer, your tablet, even in your car. If it looks the way it is as we see it today, like you'll be able to literally stock trade in your Tesla on the way to your job, if that's the case. But for those who are stepping in, I appreciate you taking the time to come in here. Today's discussion on Blank Canvas is tech or tyrant. I have a question for all those because it's been brewing for a while. Let me ask you this. Say, for instance, right, you got the newest iPhone 17, right? And then you have the new Samsung flip phone, whatever phone you prefer. I'm an Android guy, so I'm gonna go with the Samsung. Um, and it has 7G, no
Damn low
longer
tech
5G, yeah,
devices.
7G. Now, everything that comes into the phone, right? Whether it be facial recognition, whether it be thumbprint scan, whether it be eyeball recognition, whatever it is. Do these newer technologies cause you to stop, rethink your life, and then put it down, or spend less time on it? Because out of these two questions, you got to really focus on what you're doing. Because I don't touch my phone as I used to anymore. Right? I leave it. My wife, my pops, my uncle, my cousins, they all call me. My phone's somewhere.
Yeah,
I don't give
can
a
you put
shit.
it down? We've talked about this in the past. There's times where we had to take a break. You'd be like, "Yo, Jay, I'm gonna take a break for about a week or 2 weeks. Don't even, I'm not even reachable." And he's true to his word. I've seen it, and even sometimes when I go out on my daily walk, I used to take my phone with me to do a little TikTok or whatever motivational Instagram video, and then I started thinking, wait, this is my time away. So it that human experience, your grounding, let the world kind of feed you by releasing whatever. We're in a tech world right now that's, I mean, just being on camera, being on the phone, being on a microphone, producing out through so many different apps, we're already in it, and it's just a mode of speaking, so um yeah. Should we make 2022 Walkmans? What the fuck?
Like we don't like. Remember the whole phase we had the
Walkmans. Oh
iPod
yeah. How can we
Nanos.
forget?
I, I mean, those were the things, man. Like we used to love having like the Sony headphones or the CD cassettes or
Oh,
the.
the tape
You
was
know what
better
I'm
than
saying?
the CD player because the CD player always skipped. Like if you started rugging,
Nah,
like yeah, I
nah.
got the anti-skip. It's got buffers in there, and then wait.
That's
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
I mean, the tape was dope, you know what I'm saying? Until you had to get the pencil and you just had to twist that motherfucker just to get it right. It was
Yeah,
dope. But then when you look at the CDs, it scratched. There was a problem. Then you came with
You're,
the iPads and the Nanos.
you're listening.
Yeah.
Tell me something.
But when
Good.
we used to,
Good.
before, I used to listen to my headset before because we used to play, we used to sit outside and eat our chicken filet sandwiches before our game with orange peels. And we used to sit outside the stadium. I'd always have my headphones on, my little Sony player. I'd either listen to the Cameron album or the Eminem album. Um, just listening to those were really priming my time going get ready to play football. And when I was literally listening to the music through the headphones, I didn't have any distractions. I wasn't searching on my phone as the music was thumping in my ear. So when I asked, should we make 2022 a year for creating Walkmans again, is because there's times where I'm in the gym, I have my headset in, and I'm listening to music, but then I have TVs all up in the front where I'm on the treadmill running, or I get a message in my phone, I'm just getting away from my workout and I'm typing on my phone. It's like I'm getting pulled away from my element. And for me, it's very fundamental to understand to be in your element. If I'm always taken from my element, I will not be as productive. That's why I choose to disappear from social media for so long. I go through my phone, I just shut it off, and people can't get in touch with me unless they have my direct line of contact, which is my home line. I literally shut it off. Now, if I'm the only one doing this, I find it at peace. I'm outside laying in the sun on the grass, barefooted, you know what I'm saying, getting the natural immunity developing going on. And I ask myself, I was like, how much does it take for someone to pull away from their digital devices? Cyber, you're in your truck. Do you listen to music on your phone, or do you listen to music on the truck?
I listen to music on the truck because I'm making beats at the red light and promoting at the red light. I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm addicted, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
if you in a big truck, you know how it is. You at a red light, hey man, I can put down the bass line. Next red light, put the hook in. Or sometimes I'm even editing a video at the red light, allegedly educational purposes. But you know, seriously though, man, it's hard for me to put the phone down. I'm not gonna lie to you, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Jay?
One of the first things in rule in my morning is I do not pick up my phone for the first hour I'm awake. That's the first thing. I don't turn
Mhm.
on the phone. I don't turn on the TV. Nothing. I allow myself to get up. It's usually 4:30 in the morning. It's dark out now. Yeah, I put on my jogging shoes, my sweats, grab my leash for my dog. We go out for a walk, and I just start announcing to the world of prosperity that I'm going to invite to myself. And I literally say out loud how grateful I am to be alive on this earth. So that is my actualization, my grounding before I even touch tech, because I noticed I started feeling weird. If I lost my phone in my house, I'd be flipping out.
No doubt.
Like seriously, who is not flipped out? I mean, we lose our minds when we lose our keys, but imagine losing your phone in your house and it's on silent, or it's on 1%, or it's just zero.
Mm.
And how many people just like are tearing up the whole damn house just to find their damn phone? And they find it in the most obvious place after the shit's all torn up, and you're just like, what? Wait a minute. Wait a minute here. It was here the whole time. Now I gotta clean this up. This does happen.
No
Okay,
doubt.
so we are dealing with detachment, right?
Mm-hmm.
How easily it is for us to detach from things. I was listening to a discussion the other day. People are so quick to detach from other people, quicker than ever now. Like you say something that I just don't get along with or align with. All right, unsubscribe, unfollow, detached. No longer got to see a party or be a part of your lifestyle, which is common now. It's like cancel culture. People will cancel
It
you.
gave cancel culture a boost. It was like giving a super here we go. And then all of a sudden you're like, did you really say that? You're a racist. You're bad. You're a misogynist. You hate me. Nah, I just don't like you. It doesn't matter. I don't like you, but doesn't mean I don't like everyone around you and shit. Like there's some things that we want to keep between one-on-one, but now as soon as someone cops a feel and they get mad, they're gonna be like, Twitter, hey, you know what? No Show and Cyber One are full of shit, and they were talking so much crap on me on blank canvas because I'm half white, half Mexican, and I just can't contain myself. No, fuck all that. Nah, he was just
Hashtag.
telling me why I didn't like me.
But check this out though. You know what trips me out about that?
What's that?
Okay, we all know we can put someone on mute, right?
Right. You can
Mute
walk
'em.
away.
But here's what gets me: if you mute me, just unfollow me. Don't mute me and come back 6 months later. Hey, how you doing? Bitch, you been on mute, man. Fuck off my. Oh, sorry. Get out of here.
I mean, this day and age, we can say that the way we construct our circle, right, our trust circle,
Mm-hmm.
it really aligns with our principles, our methods, our morals. A lot of people don't have morals, so they just follow everybody. They're just like, oh yeah, bing, 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 it's over. But for those who stand and believe what they stand for, are easily in a position to say, hey, I'm done with you. Um, Unless you want to come back and try to talk this out, like we can hash it out for real. But if you discontinue me, then I didn't do it, you did. So it's like
Wait,
who
you mean we can't have a slap contest we can't arm wrestle over our issue, or let's throw a little bit of chin music. All right. This is one thing about fellas. We get a little bit of chin music is going to happen at some point, and then after you get done, at least when I do it, and I've gotten some beefs with some people, it's over with. Like, okay, whatever happened, I don't worry about it. But nowadays, people take it like, oh no, I'm gonna go at Twitter, I'm gonna simulcast, I'm gonna talk some serious smackdown on you, and then everyone else is gonna know. Like, I mean, how many people? Like, I saw the stupidest thing this lady said on Instagram. She says, "Here's a news flash. Why don't we take the illegal immigrants and make them work for free for 5 or 10 years, and then they can become citizens?" And let me tell you, in the Latin community, the Hispanic community, we're a lot of people that the person that shared it with me told me, and I was just like, I'm not reacting to that crap because that's just straight out stupidity.
I mean, if you don't react to it, aren't you still considered
Am I
the
an
digital
enabler?
problem?
Yeah, but at the
Yeah.
same time, what I'm gonna do with that, so what this lady ended up happening later, a lady showed this reel where she found out who she was, talked about where she lived, who she works for, every single thing. There's retaliation, right? But how far do, when we become through technology the tyrants by getting back? I don't know. I don't know about
Backlash.
what everyone else thinks, but we got to have some kind of restriction on this, because you may beef with me tomorrow, but I could get along with you. I mean, beef with me today and I can get along with you tomorrow. And once you put that on the digital highways, you can't take it back necessarily. And people don't know
I
that.
mean,
It's
you can
kind of like,
delete it, but it's
yeah,
still
you
there.
you can try, it's still there,
It's still there.
you know.
And that's
And
kind of where I'm at right now. Right? I get on these apps, I listen to these podcasters, try to, relate to what they may be saying or understand what they're saying. And it's become an issue where you listen a lot and you don't want to say nothing, because if you say something, chances of you becoming the tyrant to them is a lot more than it would be for you in reverse. So it's like, wait a minute, where do I stand as a person who wants to discuss opposing points of view with those who may not align with me? I'm going to get canceled. Expect to get canceled. Maybe they won't cancel me. Maybe they'll leave a little doorway open so we can have a little room for discussion. It solely depends on what they stand for and the morals to agree to disagree. And in 2022, next year, I'm expecting to see it a lot worse. Just because of the way we've been going with this digital platforming, and then now you're having a change in the way we all are integrated into these services. I mean, God forbid Facebook or Meta becomes a podcasting additional platform where people can come up and just
it's
podcast.
going to. It's totally going to. It's
I
not
mean,
if, it's going to. It's when, bro. It is when.
when I don't even know, man. Are we done with are we done with Facebook though? Like, are we willing to sign up to the Meta? Right, as well as we've known their tyrannical data breaches, all the
Yeah, like
information they've stolen from us. Are we still willing to, just because they got a new rebranding?
Did they steal it, or we gave up the rights when we acknowledged the user
Oh, they stole
rights?
it. They stole it, and we also gave it up. It's 2 in 1.
Yeah.
We participate into the thievery, just like
Should I
we
get mad? Should we
participate.
cancel Facebook or Metaverse?
See, I wouldn't cancel them. I just don't want to see. That's where it comes into the battle of, am I canceling?
I'm just using it as an example.
I know that's exactly where we're standing right now. Like, do I cancel them, or do I stand firm in my beliefs and just not choose to use them? Or maybe I do use them to promote
No show
not only
theater,
art,
blank
but
canvas, whatever. Yeah.
yeah, Cyber One. If I want to promote, Red Sable, feel your soul. If I want to promote the Guru, if I want to promote, the Ville, if I want to do any of these things, I have to really think about what I'm doing. Right? Am I going to
Right.
go on Meta? I will be on Meta. For what reasons? Marketing.
Right.
Is that bad? No.
no, that's a bomb place to be. Shout out to Facebook.
Yeah.
What's up? What's going on?
Instagram. Do I want to be like F Instagram because they keep censoring people or fact checking everybody?
Oh, and we've talked about fact checking because here's the part about fact checking Facebook and Instagram. Maybe your censorship bullshit. You use Associated Press, which is a not for profit company, and there is no verification that your fact checkers are actually legitimate. It's an AI server that checks your words according to articles and opinions, but no basis of fact that you've been able to prove. And yet, so many content creators have been canceled because of this. So, who's the bad man now? Who's a part of the evil empire? Call me Darth
In the
Vader if
words
you
of
want.
72 In the words of 72 Architect,
Shut your bitch ass up!
it'd be like that. It'd be
Hey,
like
hold on,
that.
hold on. Let me get in on that. In the words of 72, the architect.
I'm infinitely smarter than you, and infinitely more successful than you. I'm infinitely smarter than.
Oh, my bad, my bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where we're at today, man. Like, and the whole interesting thing is we are joining these apps. Some people read the terms and services. Some people just sign up and just get it done with, right? I used to be that guy. I used to just sign up, just create an account, boom, do it. Not even looking at the terms and services. But now, the older that I'm not the older, but the more fine wine I become, matter of fact, women become fine wine. The more of a branded cognac, you know what I'm saying? the more I've aged
back in 2021, I was a pioneer of digital currency. I was with my boys on Blank Canvas and we were talking about tech and tyrants. Y'all mofos were just you weren't even a sliver in your daddy's nutsack trying to portray yourself like you had an NFT ready to be birthed and making billions and trillions of gazillions of dollars. You know,
tell them.
You were just a megabyte.
You said what, bro?
I said you were just a megabyte.
Yep.
But that's kind of where it is. Like, we signed up to these apps and these programs not really looking into what the use cases were. Now, I can go on there and speak about vax this, jab that, shot this, booster this, and get blackballed with their fact checkers all day. Or I can promote my stuff on their platform, direct people to my platform, and where there is no terms of service needed to worry about what can and cannot be said, it's all geared to how they understand what I'm saying. So it's a code of ethics. And if we value an ethical platform or ethical stance in a tech world dealing with tyrannical institutions or metaverses, there comes a time where we need in ourselves to identify what are we fucking doing. Excuse my language for those who are under age of 18. But what the F are we doing? Right? What stance are we willing to take? Because I sat back and watched people still promote all the stuff they do on Instagram. And they're like, my posts are being shunned and being pushed away. No one can read them. Like this,
they're censoring me. They're blocking me.
Well, maybe you should change your tactics, bro. Like, stop trying to cancel these platforms that can actually give you the pull from their platform to yours. Because if you look at how these simulcasting streaming platforms are doing, they're creating a bridge that literally comes from your harbor. So if you have a chance to really connect between each one of these financial structures, how you implement your reach, how you promote your projects, it's solely on you. There's no need to look at Tyrants and blame them because you paid into it.
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason.
Not at all. Like, literally. And and what cracks me up even more is, I mean, we've talked about, remember when we were on stereo full time, and we had to, like, before we could monitor like the messages and everything, we were like talking about like, hey, how we're gonna play this out. And we talked about we're gonna leave stereo, we're gonna do all this other shit, we're gonna go into different platforms, and no one's gonna have charge over us and have that much power to be able to cancel us. And what happened as soon as we started talking about this? One of us got canceled, and the other kind of had to just deal with it, and but then guess what? You just nurtured the soil, my friends. Guess what you did? You created a search for to start doing, and you gave us inspiration to start developing more shit that we already talked about previous before it even happened. And so now what's happening, and I was just people are asking me, hey, why don't you come back to stereo? Why aren't you making stuff? And I'm like, why? What's in it there for me? I'm diversifying where no one has intellectual property rights but me. I've copyrighted 72 the Architect. I haven't done Blank Canvas yet because we're working on it. But how these intellectual property rights are respected is seeds for the future and for our kids. So if our kids want to grow on, take on, say like my daughter and your daughter, goes on the air and starts creating content on Blank Canvas, the Godfathers did it, and we're continuing the dream. They have those rights to them.
Right.
If you're not planting seeds, you're planting weeds. You're letting weeds take over your fertile ground.
I'm just saying.
I'm not talking about I'm not talking about the finer chiva. I'm talking about weeds that choke your shit out.
We're canceling you right now.
Right. That's it. I'm done.
Right there.
I'm done. Yeah.
But it allows us to really refocus our ways of how we use such mediums, right? So I wrote this blog on my website. I made a post. It's like, damn, I don't think I did enough, right? There's something else I can do. So what I did is I took a portion of my blog, like maybe 3 paragraphs, transferred over to Medium, created a hyperlink on that Medium site so people can come to my website. So it kind of, it's like hopscotch. You know how you used to jump on one square, but yet people don't realize it's all
now
connected to each other.
Now it's Squid Game. Fuck hopscotch. Squid Game's in now.
I mean, but it's real though. Like it really brings a underlining message on how you start connecting your shows. For instance, can we all just share one way we multi-share our shows?
Yeah.
For starters, I'll say that the way I do it, it's through the way I make my show. And then from that show, it goes into how I can distribute it, right? So now that I have a live session already done here, I can distribute it like a clip to YouTube, to Twitch, to Trovo, DLive, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. I can do 30-second clips, bring people coming in through. And then when they check it out,
my friend.
Right. That's just how I do one of the ways. Like I gotta, like I said, the whole time we sitting here, I'm over here writing shit down, you know what I mean? And how I can implement these strategies. Because honestly, if I take what we discussed today and just get up and walk away, I'm only jeopardizing this conversation. I'm not helping making it more fruitful than what we've already brought to the table. And from where we've seen U72 and Cybershots, as well as Red Sable. Who else do I know that's been promoting and growing like crazy? If I forgot your name, don't shoot me, don't shun me. Just come and hit me up, join my shows, and we'll talk some more. But anyway, long story short, they have created a constant growth period in their lives, ladies and gentlemen. They have studied, analyzed, looked at where they need to go, how to distribute their products, and they do it. They don't just sit, do a show, and be done with it. I remember when we used to get on stereo, and it'd be like, how many shows did we do, bro? Like we did like 16, 17 on stereo.
Like
but how many shows, Cybershots, did you do on Anchor? How many shows as a total right now on Anchor, bro?
You can check out episode 537 now out on Anchor, Spotify, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Stitcher, Overcast, and almost everywhere podcasts are found. Feel free to download, like, share, and subscribe. Cyber, where's your check mark? The only check mark that matters to me is on my Cash App, $RICK1T. Now, back to our regularly scheduled program.
The assimilation. The assimilation is now over. The assimilation is now over.
I love doing this shit.
Mad love to you guys. Yeah, no, seriously, it's like you see what you're doing. You have 500 and was it you said 67 or 37?
37.
537 shows.
Yeah. That's remember, I got canceled for a month and I also have 2 other podcasts. So that's just on Cybershots.
You can ball Steve.
Yeah, I remember with the professor too, right?
Yeah.
So you created all these shows, right? And you've constantly engaged in your shows, and you've looked at what you wanted to do. You listened to other shows, and you applied your own style to your show from what you've learned. 72. How about you?
Fuck, I can't even think about how many shows I have. I really can't. Hold on one second.
So in total, I've done like over 200 shows on Anchor. I've taken a lot of them down, so now it's only
Be right back in
me
a sec, guys.
and my editing capabilities, and then also I've done several shows on Stereo, Spoon,
Oh, I forgot about that.
and then yeah, you see, okay, so you even have Spoon as well. Do you even promote Spoon at all?
No, I just go and listen. That's the main thing that I don't get about podcasters. Okay, first of all, you can't force anyone to listen to your content. That's a given. But how can you expect for someone to listen to you if you don't listen to them? Just like I'm gonna give you a prime example again. Stereo. Oh, he doesn't have any shows. Motherfucker. I could do a show every day just by pushing play for the next year. You know what I'm saying? A structured
Facts.
podcast. You know what I'm saying? But I like to listen, man. And I remember one time I was listening to this show, I was really digging it. Yo, Cyber, what are you doing lurking here? Say something. I'm like, yo, I'm enjoying the show. You know what I'm saying? I'm listening. That's what you do to a podcast. Like, come on, man.
I mean, a lot of times, like, I guess people weren't expecting to have the interaction processes delivered to them, right? It was more or less just come in there, listen, and dip. Follow if you like, don't follow if you don't. But now we've created an engaging platform. And before I go any further, I'm actually on Stereo. We have 3 messages here. Let's go ahead and pop them, bro. Let's get it. KJ, I see you. Oops.
That people want instant gratification. They want attention, and they'll do anything for it. It's just like social media. The digital world has become dog eat dog, just like the real world. And people will do anything, just like with money, to get on top, even if that means to, down others or help be a group of people that helps dismiss others with their free speech. Of course, Meta, Facebook is going to do every trick in the book to get more people to go in. But I don't think that any of us truly know what that platform is going to be and how harmful it's going to be.
How harmful it might be. Yeah, I concur to the max.
Because isn't it going to be kind of like
Go ahead, man.
Isn't it going to be kind of like virtual reality also?
Correct. Okay. So what we were discussing earlier was that the potential of what Meta could be is the how the Nintendo Wii. I don't know if you ever played it, but the capabilities in there was like you create your little avatar and you go in a little Wii neighborhood or whatnot, and you can look up things and find things, play around, find different games, interact with different Wii avatars. It's kind of like that premise. And then you look at my kids, they tried to play Roblox until some random dude hit them up and was like, hey, you want to go on a date? That kind of freaked me out. So I uninstalled the app for them. But that whole premise is changing the way, we interact with one another. So now we're having digital mediums where we're able to sit here and create fake identities and then use those identities to interact with one another. Trolls, undercover racist, pedophiles. You know how we did with Spoon? There was like influx of pedophiles that we ended up killing off the app.
Yeah, no doubt.
So it's kind of like that whole premise where it will transfer into that world. You're talking about creating a whole realm of unexplained phenomenons that will happen. That's the issue. And KJ, I appreciate you. Yo, Jay, we have 2 more messages on here as well from Mr. Chef Collet and KJ. Let's go ahead and listen to Chef Collet real quick.
Yo, that meta shit that Facebook changed himself into, boy, that's some Black Mirror shit right there, boy. People need to pull away from technology sometimes, man. Like, I don't know, it's all these fun things and ways to make money and shit, but I don't know. I feel like there's something behind all this technology that's gonna lead us down a crazy path that we ain't gonna be able to come back from. I ain't talking about no dystopian future type bullshit either. I'm just gonna jack us up. And I mean, you can see what social media is already doing to the kids. So I don't know. I try to keep myself not too close to that shit, man. Even for business purposes.
Yeah. So Jay, I got on stereo just to, share our show a little bit because you know me, I like to incorporate a piece of our show on these apps. And we've been getting a lot of messages. I got one more here.
Hey, whatever works. I mean, I'm on stereo. I haven't left completely, but I'm just not putting out most of my work on there. So if you want to do that, fair game, whatever works, man. Just a snippet.
You know what I'm saying? 30 minutes, 45 minutes.
I'm on there every other week.
We also are open on Wisdom right now. So if there's any listeners out there, they would like to come up and leave a short message or talk and give your perspective on the talk. I'm also making that readily available for all the listeners on Wisdom as well. So if you're on Haps, if you haven't downloaded HAPPS.TV, download a free profile. You can see it. You can make your comments or follow us on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. You can find our channels and you can make comments and we'll see it. If you want to be a guest while we're talking, it's also possible either through Stereo Wisdom and so on and so forth. So you can do that. Just to give a quick little announcement for what's available to everybody, if you know what I'm saying.
No doubt. So we got one more message from KJ. Let me run it real quick.
Well, you got to understand that Instagram is Facebook. It's the same, just like WhatsApp, it's Facebook, all owned by the same people. So that's why you're being censored. They might have different names, but they have the same owner. And they are going to censor you because they don't want the mass of people to wake up and realize what's really going on.
Are we really all asleep? What? Are you awake?
Wake up.
I really do think a lot of us just don't care.
I think that's what it is. Your availability and caring.
Yeah. People can sit here and be like, yay, and then go right back onto it. And the problem is people who are so against these platforms and so undermine the use cases and get on there and promote the brilliant information that they do promote, but yet then get banned or shadow banned or then blocked. It really sets the tone for what people are still willing to do because they will get back on there and create another account. They'll get back on there and still share the same stuff they were sharing, regardless if they get banned and come back.
Can't stop, won't stop.
That's crazy.
That's what it is.
How you like that? How you like me now?
Cybershot said it himself, bro. He's addicted. Sometimes he's addicted to holding on to his phone.
Yeah, but see, one thing though, I gotta admit, I don't start my day out with the phone like Jason. You know what I'm saying? I get myself together mentally and physically first, but once I grab that phone, hey, all day long, man.
It's on like
Looking
Donkey
at
Kong.
stuff.
Jump them barrels. Jump
What is
them
he turning
barrels,
into, a
Mario.
rapper today? Jason bars.
Dun, dun,
Damn.
dun, 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 dun.
But you know what though? Also, like what you were saying earlier, no show. Like, okay, you said you only had 200. Well, not only. I know you got way more than that. But you know what you're forgetting?
What's
All
that?
of the episodes that we did that only were allowed to stay up there for 24 hours and they disappeared. So you got over. You know
Oh
what I'm saying?
my God. Yeah, bro.
We got like thousands of episodes, really, if you think about it.
All the call-ins too, bro. Like we could literally make a whole ass show grouped up together with all the anchor call-ins that we got, bro. Like for real.
That's 24 hours. Easy.
But think about how what we did on Anchor. I mean, it brought us together because even those 2 minutes, 1 minute clips, and remember Echoes? Shit,
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
I
no
mean,
doubt.
that Echoes was like the very first. No one was doing that.
Yeah,
No
that was
platform. And then they got rid of it. They're like, wait a second, we don't want them. We want to sell this to another empire called Spotify. We're gonna set you up so you have to focus on your own brand, doing your own marketing. And then we're gonna fool you a little bit. We're gonna give you some little marketing tools, advertise the brand, and we'll pay you according to how many listens you get. And then all of a sudden you're marketing and promo like, what do I do now? What do I do now, George? Can I do something better? Can I make an Instagram post? So it was a transition for a lot of us, you know. It definitely showed a lot.
I really do miss that functionality system. It created a community.
It did. It did.
And you know what else? They're trying to remix that kind of like the new thing on Anchor, not to promote them or whatever. But they're making it so you can go live like we're doing here on Spotify.
Right.
Yeah, I'm good with Spotify, man. I was on the green room for a minute. I tested it out, tried to figure out, but I was like, man, I'm good. We got a message.
I'm gonna make. Hey, by the way, no show. I'm gonna make an NFT about that cat on that couch and your little one posing. I'm gonna take a snippet of that. That's my NFT for No Show Theater right there. I'm collecting.
That little thing was right there, bro. I kept looking. I was like, is that my
That's
wife's
your cat, man. And
No,
that's
it's not
little
mine.
mama in the background.
I don't take care of that shit. Nah, I don't. That's not my responsibility, bro. I'm a dog lover, so when my wife was like, "Look at the cat, it's so cute," I said, "Fuck that shit." The little Tom cat. What's that? Top cat?
Yeah.
Nah.
He,
Yo,
he thinks he's like Heathcliff. You're gonna feed him,
Yeah,
or Garfield. You're gonna give me some
gangster.
lasagna.
You said what, Cyber?
I said Heathcliff was a gangster. Yeah, pimp slap.
Oh, he was.
Yeah,
He was a gangster. Yeah.
Yeah, we got it.
What do you got on stereo?
The thing that gets me about some of these apps is they will ban some of the more important stuff that it's like they don't want all this information that may be making something look like it's either not so good or there's some fuckery going on, you know, or sometimes there's even some positive shit and they ban people for it, but yet they allow trash, girls getting half naked, people doing stupid shit, videos of it, dumbness, just memes upon meme upon meme, you know, and some of this shit would be like undercover racist shit and they allow it to just go by, you know. So to me, I don't know. The minute they started censoring some shit that was like a good thing, or just, you know, just different information, I was like, see, I don't like that thing. It's just like TV. They only want you to see what they want you to see.
Remember, well, look at OnlyFans or Fans Only, whatever the hell it's called. They canceled from all those influencers, those girls that were showing their asses and boobs and whatever. And then all of a sudden, because they found that porn had like an end where these people could be independent contractors, make their own money without a production company overseeing their, oh, wait a minute. And as soon as that stopped, all the money stopped. And guess what? Because they thought they were going to put it into a legit platform where they could attract businesses and content creators and influencers to pay for new specific content for a monthly membership of like $2,500 a month, whatever it may be. Clubhouse tried to do the same thing Clubhouse also did things to monetize their platform because they attracted big guys like Grant Cardone, Gary Vaynerchuk. You got all these people coming in these apps, but on the counter side, I mean, it gave a lot of the youth. I mean, there's no way of verifying a teen stripping her clothes off and showing herself on a cam for a low fee and being exploited. And these are things that this is why I say ethical design is very, very important, because by the time the government takes any kind of notion of regulation, it's because either one of their kids turned into a hoe on the cam, and guess what? And then they got caught. Or better yet, let's not forget the guy that was doing the FaceTime and showing himself, and he was like a congressman, and then his wife was like an advisor to Hillary Clinton and embarrassed the fuck out of her. Oh, you guys don't remember that? Look
Nah.
up. Oh yeah. So
No,
about 5-6 years ago, one of the reasons why Hillary Clinton lost her election is because her assistant, her number one assistant, the husband to that lady, to that lady who was Hillary's advisor, got caught. People, he was stripping, bare chesting, and having illicit conversations with young teenage kids, and he got busted. He had to serve a little bit of time for this. Oh yeah. And so they started talking about exploitation of youth and older people being on cams and shit. And then they started linking like OnlyFans or fans only. I can't remember the damn platform, but anyways,
All right,
the
so
point
I
is,
found this at Hillary Clinton caught with lesbian lovers on unsecured phones. Is that one of them?
yeah, that too. No, but her chief assistant, they just did 60 Minutes on her because she split from her husband. I forget her name. Let me see. Let me just type up Hillary Clinton. Let's see, Hillary
That is
Clinton
wow.
advisor.
Ooh, Salma Hayek strips for Americano. That's
I
not
can handle
bad.
that.
I can see that. I put some cash on that.
Yeah.
I don't know about Hillary though. That's a fucking waste of money. That's
Come on,
asking.
you want to see Hillary. You want to see Hillary.
Oh shit! That's your tax dollars going hard at work right there, boy. I tell you that. I'm good.
Right.
We got one more message from Mr. MF Shea Collet, man. Let's get it.
Yeah, with people not caring and stuff, man, I think they just also sleep still. Because if you knew somewhat of the implications of some of these things that are going on, or just, I don't know, just the vibe of it all, just kind of the nonsense upon which we're doing all this stuff. Yeah, you can share and information and blah, blah, but yeah, it's in business and stuff, but yeah, like I don't think people really realize, like, we can already do all these things, but we're not just doing it on a digital side, and we're getting so giddy about it that we're losing sight of what's really going on in this world and what we really need to be doing, but we worried about our businesses and playing games.
Right.
So yeah, I think if
Okay,
people
so
who don't care, it's just they just they enjoy being, how they say, in the Matrix. They took their blue pill or whatever, and they enjoy this.
Isn't that what Neo's doing in the next Matrix? He wants to take the pill again.
Okay, here's the guy that I found. U.S.
Can you
House of
share it?
Representative, New York's 9th District, Anthony David Weiner, or Wiener, whatever. His wife, she was thoroughly embarrassed by his exploitation on being on the internet and exposing himself, and her name was Huma Abedin, and that lady took a lot of crap for her husband. He not just did it once. He admitted it, went to counseling, then kept on doing it, and led to his divorce. So these exploitation of these platforms, of how far it goes, and the ethical design, it doesn't matter until someone gets their hand caught in the cookie jar. And sometimes, and we've heard of like controversies like Pizzagate, is Biden a part of that, or the Clintons a part of that? It's like we are all kinds of crazy. So with this technology, it also exposes us to things that probably could have been kept really quiet had technology not being what it is today. I mean, that's reality.
I mean, that goes with the meme with Will Smith and how he stated that, all these cop killings of, melanated Americans, they're only being more televised. Like they've been happening, you know. So when you put those into an account, like the internet, the phones, the social media, World Star, like this black man made money off the death and destruction of multiple communities, not just one but multiple, and made money selling an idea that would literally showcase every hood, every neighborhood, community, establishment, business entity. It would showcase the bullshit that went in there. And not only did people start sharing it, it was so world renowned that wherever you saw a video, you would see at the very bottom World Star. So now it's like we're in an age where people are willing to just share whatever they find valuable, right? And if the message is clear that people are sharing valuable videos and conversations in regards to death and destruction, people getting shot at, fights, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what we want. That's what they're interested in. That's what
It
people
tunes our
entertain.
emotions up. It's exciting because bad news isn't enough. Bad news in sight. And this is the sick thing. My 14-year-old was talking about this. A lot of kids record the fights on schoolyards where there's like sometimes 3 kids on one kid. And she was telling me at her nice little junior high school, kids are coming with weed, knives, guns, and the schools can't do much against it because security is lacking funding. Well, you're spending so many billions of dollars on the military complex, and then you're spending so much on investment in infrastructure bill that is supposed to take the United States back into some kind of style of leadership in the global community, but yet you can't even help your own damn public, and where is the ethical design? Like, why are kids having phones on campus to begin with until they get out of school? Well, I just don't see no purpose in it, and there's no restriction. Even as adults, we're filming stuff, people's bad behaviors. You could have a bad day cussing somebody out, and then all of a sudden someone can put a meme or a quote on you, tag your picture, find out who you are, and make you look like an asshole, lose your job forever, and make you unhireable. Now that is a form of defamation of character as well as slander. And those lawsuits can only be processed if you got money. Guess what? Lawyers cost money. Law
we about
is
to get
for the
into it.
rich.
We about to get into it real quick, bro. We're because I'm glad you said that, the defamation of character. Does anybody know of a guy named Colin Kaepernick?
Yep. He just made a Netflix special.
Okay.
Take your Neo 49er. How about that?
Okay. So everybody, if you followed me for the time of my development, I'm sorry, let me rearrange that terminology.
I'm going to cancel if you say you're a Niner fan. I'm going to cancel if you're a Niner fan.
I am a Niner fan. Like, wait a minute, no, hold on. So let's just take that into account, right? If you've been with me in my journey of podcasting, right? I have always told you that I've been a 49er since birth, right? I'm since 84
Joe Montana.
Joe Montana, Steve Young, yeah. Jeff Garcia, yeah. So I grew up loving the 49ers, right? I grew up in a time where they were winning championships. They were getting, you know what I'm saying? That was my era. When I saw Colin Kaepernick take that knee, I was happy. I was enjoying the moment because what he was standing up for was for something that needed to be shown. Happy, best moment ever. And then when that Navy SEAL said, "Hey man, don't sit on the bench, kneel down," and he kneeled with him, he still got slack. So we're looking at today, right? This whole design element of today, how he's saying that the NFL, right, is of slavery. It's a modern day slave ship. And the messages are they're buzzing. But the whole idea is that we're dealing with this focal point in society where we look at Colin back then and then look at Colin today, and people are on his throat. They are on his throat about this whole entire thing. And there's so much that needs to be said. I don't want to say too much without jumbling up.
Uh-oh.
Huh?
They're disrupting the signal.
What's up? Can y'all see me? You look frozen right now, Jay. I mean,
Yeah, you look frozen.
you good? Oh yeah, he'll be back.
Yeah.
But before I go any further, yo, Cyber, you've heard about this whole entire calling in black and white thing, right?
Such as?
You haven't. I know you haven't seen it because I know you don't really watch TV that much.
Right.
But I'm just wondering if anybody has talked about it or if it's come up on your feed. Anything about Colin Kaepernick and whatnot? His whole new
Recently?
Netflix special,
Nah.
bruh. He's
Did
getting
you check
heat.
it out?
I mean, he's basically saying the NFL is modern day slavery.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
Everybody's hitting them in the head. But here's the thing though. The NFL, I believe, is just a circus, right? It's just there for our entertainment. NBA, MLB, all these soccers, all these sports are just for entertainment purposes. Just like watching your favorite women who watch their Desperate Housewives or Loving Hip Hop, whatever it may be. Like it's just entertainment.
Right. Kung Fu movies.
But yeah, but what he was going on about is the way they poke you, they prod you, they test you. They want to see if you're healthy enough to be on their team, aka the combine, how they test you and doing all the rigorous testing. And then you look at how the NFL in itself was established and initiated. And then you look at how Harvard, Yale, and what else? Rutgers, all prestigious schools back in the 1800s, late 1800s, had the money to be able to build such events, such sporting events. Like first it was the football, then it was basketball, and then baseball, and it just started trickling down into the whole entity. Now that you have individualized owners, right? Yo, 72, are you back, my guy?
I think the powers that be kind of muted me. I don't know.
Pixelated.
Yeah, man, you're looking really Adam
Yeah, it
Sandler
shows
right
me on
now.
the webcam like really kind of spotty. If you so
Wow. That
I
used
think
to be
we're
me.
I think we're touching on a sensitive subject here, bro.
That used to be
straight
me.
up.
Wow. Okay. I want to play these messages while we have a chance, so you can kind of get caught up, Jay. Yo, let's go and get it. I want to play these messages while we have a chance, so you can kind of get caught up. That was an echo.
Well, because it had me. I was looking at stereo, and all of a sudden, like, I was like, "Oh, oh, the picture is coming in more clear."
Yeah, man. All right, yo, MF Shea Collet, what's good, man?
See, and then all this stuff just continues going. Kids want to just show off more because that's what makes you famous, yeah? That's what everybody wants to see, right? They want to see you dancing in front of a fucking camera, playing some prank on your family members, fighting in school and stuff. It's all like everybody wants to be a movie star. Everybody wants to be seen. No one gets paid enough attention, you know? It's like I said, it's a sick thing, man. It's a real sick thing, you know? I'm glad that when I was growing up, that shit really wasn't so ready and available, you know? But now every kid thinks they're some movie star or influencer. They taking pictures everywhere, everybody glammed up, everybody doing the most. And you're like, hold on. You're only 15. Why are you doing all this stuff, man? Be a child, man. Enjoy yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, the narrative, because our kids are getting it the worst, man. Our kids are getting an influx of how parents are portraying themselves on the internet, and then they see it. So my kids are seeing me, right? They see me with my equipment. They see me with my stereo setups, my music equipment, my drums. They see all of it. Now my kids want to do music. Now my kids want to participate in editing video and film. That's fine. Is it what they're meant to do? I don't know, but they see what daddy loves to do, which is edit audio, edit video. create creative visuals like drawings, artist, art page, yeah, do it. That's what I do. They're gonna do it. That's what they want to do. But the whole thing is the whole video thing. Like I met parents who were trying to get their kids ready for YouTube at like 6 because that one kid, Ryan, whatever, he's like the famous YouTube kid.
Yeah.
Has millions of dollars. His parents invested into him. They got him the equipment. Now he has toys throughout like stores and five below here in Georgia. They have him in Walmart, Target. Like they got him everywhere. The kid is rich, not wealthy, but at the age he is, he makes more money than any other kids in our age group combined. That says a lot. It says where we're going as far as the digital universe. That's why when Facebook released the information about transferring over to Meta, I say this for 2 reasons. They transferred over to Meta because all the lawsuits that they had to go through with the data breach in the past, and by them rebranding themselves, it takes that away from the new step that they're trying to go.
They're trying to slight the government in being responsible because it's a digital highway, because they know that the government ultimately cannot control the digital highway. They really can't. And, you know, with that being said, all these governments, like the G12, whatever, the Echo
G20.
Summit, G20, it's not about the environment. Don't you think for one freaking minute it's really about the environment? No, this is a forum where global leaders can be like, yo, my companies, my guys that are giving me some money, they're saying this, and if we don't make this agreement, guess what's gonna happen?
Bazaar.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all business.
So,
man.
yeah. Yeah, it's it's sinister. And now China, like this whole thing you guys heard about the shipping on the West Coast, like the port of Los Angeles and Long Beach being
Right.
held up for months. But did anyone bother to ask the question, why, if Los Angeles and Long Beach can't be used as much and work as fast, you have several other major ports along the California coast? You got San Diego, another big port. You got the port of Oakland, which is being retrofit and automated. But guess what?
Shit.
If I have to control the highways, see, what makes Los Angeles and Long Beach so amazing is that, guess what? All that trucking don't have to cover mountains. It goes straight through.
Flatline.
Distribution.
I got you. I figured that. Wow. Yeah, we got Prototype A in the building, and I am God. damn it.
What up, Nick?
I'm gonna just say this. I don't know if the other message came through. I don't mind people being recorded because there's a clause in my job that if I do something that's not beneficial to my company and my image is tarnished, then they can fire me. To me, that's not defamation. If I choose to call the police on an innocent child, whether they're black or white, if the courts are holding me to the standard, why can't public opinion hold me to the standard?
I heard her event. I think she phased out.
Yeah. Yo, you're glitching again, 72.
If you deem to misrepresent your company, how you actually misrepresent.
We're losing you.
Yeah, he's pixelated.
What the hell? Okay, there it is. I'm coming back. Yeah, so the big man upstairs don't like what I'm saying. All right, big man, I hear you. I'll talk in code another day. Don't worry. I got you. Little Mamas is like, oh, hey, kitty.
You see her?
Wrestle? I seen that.
My daughter going in the background, bro.
It's like, hey, kitty, we're gonna wrestle. I love you. Don't you want? It's kind of remember. Gee, George, I'm gonna hug you and squeeze you, and I'm gonna pet you too.
she really does that. The cat be like literally crying.
And then she screamed, "Daddy!"
Yeah, it's a police siren right there. All right. Yeah, we got another message from MF Chef Collet. And then we have one from I Am Goddammit. Yo, let's go ahead and run it.
And like I said, you just see these kids doing some ridiculous stuff. They ain't got no manners. They ain't got nothing. You know what I mean? Because they're growing up in a society. It's this quick, I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that.
Instant gratification.
And I want to show myself off, and I can do this, and I can do that, and I have access to all this. That's why they think they're so grown, because they're doing the same things that the grown-ups are doing. And there's no direction. Shit is just sad, man. It's sad.
Very. It's heartbreaking, man. But, that's a society we chose to allow to inflict damage not only to us, but our kids. We have a choice to either change it or not. But a lot of the people don't change it. Like, I'm willing to change the things that I'm doing. Like, for instance, last night, we went to a Vietnamese shop. My wife, she doesn't really have a palate for it, right?
That's
she doesn't really
good food
go out.
right there.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro, me and my son smashed that plate, bro. We smashed
that bowl of noodles. Woo! Add that shrimp, that steak in there, the meatballs, and all them good veggies and onions, which I hate, but anyways, peppers, and it's like a big ensemble of hot goodness during the winter. Oh yeah, I'm in. Give me my chopsticks and my oversized.
That's how I live my winter. Like, in the summer, I eat salads and meats. In the winter, I eat soups, crackers, and not I used to eat breads, but I'm pulling away from breads.
Me too. I don't eat rice and bread. I don't touch it.
Really?
I don't touch rice and bread most of the time. If I do, it's like it messes up my stomach. Ever since my gallbladder's been gone, I can't handle spicy foods as much as I used to. Can't have heavy oils, anything breaded. I don't eat bread. So to keep my weight down, my diabetes in check, no rice, no bread, no tortillas.
Right.
And to a Mexican, that's like
you're tortillas, boy. I know
yeah, it's like oh God, like you're hurting me, man.
Damn
and
it,
then they
man.
try to church it up like then they try to say, oh, but you can have corn, but guess what? Corn and like flour came from the same damn family. You can't have that stuff.
Can't process corn though. It just goes in the way it came out.
It's super corn. It's supposed to make you bigger and stronger. No, it makes your belly grow bigger. And this is not to take away from our subject matter, but how are foods affected within technology and dicing these genes into making super seeds that produce higher yields? It has a lot of problems. One, it takes in more water to grow this stuff. Two, all the chemicals within that genome that goes into your body, goes in your gut, explodes you like a big giant balloon. Like you look like you had 30 cases of beer and the gas never left. And that's inflammation that causes cortisol influx. It causes adrenal gland fatigue. And no matter how much you try to work out and you try to eat right, guess what? Until you stop eating certain things, guess what? You're not going to be skinny fit. And I'll tell you what, do you guys notice that the people that are most fit just walking around, and I see it's not any particular culture, but it is wealthy. They know exactly, I don't buy rice. I don't buy bread. They don't do certain things. And I've watched them. I've talked to them and they won't say it right out the bat. Where'd you learn this from?
Interesting. Yeah, we got a message here from I Am Goddammit. Let's go and listen to see what. Hopefully you're not a spam dude, but let's get it.
The NFL is classified as sports entertainment, which means it can be scripted, just like WWE and all those wrestling shows. It's not real. It's dictated and predicted, not a game of chance or skill. But to refer to it as the slavery of modern day is a slap in the face to anyone who is in an enslaved situation now. No one trains their whole life to become a professional slave and get paid millions of dollars to do it. They can quit at any time. That is insulting, highly insulting to people who are on slavery auction blocks right now, today, in other countries.
Libya.
You tell me where I'm wrong, I'll tell you where your head is up your own ass.
You're not wrong, my guy.
Give that man a round of applause. Give that man, He sounded like the old announcer from the 80s. Remember the what was it? The ESPN, no, not the ESPN, but the Sports Illustrated videos on football. Dun, dun, dun. And here comes Joe Theismann getting laid out by Lawrence Taylor,
He did
ladies
have
and
that
gentlemen.
voice, though, yeah.
Yeah.
But he's not wrong, and
No,
that's
he's
kind
not.
of why
No, he's not.
I wanted to talk to each and every one of y'all about it, because today in tech, right, in Tyrants, it's a whole institute. Like they use all the means they can to promote their shows. They set it up to the point where they got commercials ready to air in between timeouts. I mean, come on. It's all pre-scripted. And to even understand that Colin Kaepernick, early on when he took the knee, he had my respect. Now, here's my other problem. He has Josiah Johnson, Ava DuVernay, two incredible writers and creators for movies and shows. If you know who Ava DuVernay, hopefully I said her name right. She turned down the chance to write Black Panther or direct it because she didn't have full control, full rights over the narrative. So she backed out. Then she came out with the Netflix special 13th Amendment. So she has that.
I love that.
I loved it, right? But when you see that she's backing, and Colin Kaepernick also has creative rights for Colin Black and White. So you have those three main creators of the show, of the miniseries on Netflix, who got together to help promote a cause, right? Now, like I said, the entertainment field is just entertainment. When you look at the sports complex, it's owned, like here in Georgia, we have the billionaire who invested into the Major League Soccer League with Atlanta United, Arthur Blank. He also owns the Falcons, right? He himself put money that he has owned, his family has owned, and put it into this establishment to create the Atlanta Falcons, as well as, he bought into the Atlanta Falcons, as well as the Major League Soccer League in Atlanta United. Now we know that that is the overall message, that it's individually owned, as well as Atlanta Hawks or the LA Clippers, with that whole lawsuit back in the day with that woman who said that that guy was saying racial slurs about his own players, with the LA Clippers. And then
the former owner, and then his girlfriend or his confidant, whatever. That and she was black, and he's like, and she got mad at him, and she reported, I didn't know he was racist, and then she's like distanced herself.
But that's the narrative, right? So we know that it is privately owned businesses. That's it. When you see Colin Kaepernick, for the 3 years that he's been training the way he has to get back into this league, it really contradicts the message that he's saying, because he was literally fighting with these privately owned NFL teams to get a place on there. Now, the lawsuit that he received, the money that he had received in lieu of what the NFL paid him for, that's a different story. He got hush money, he got paid. Now he's come back speaking what he's speaking, that they want to let him in. He's been training for so long. It's like, dude, you're not making sense. We understand that you got rejected for the stance that you took. Big ups to that stance. Now you're saying the things that you're saying. Now, granted, it does have slave attributes, right? The way
you can't help ignore what Colin Kaepernick showed in the beginning of how they screen, like the combined, what does they call it?
The combine, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's huge, man. And it's like, people want to be for his cause, but when you do the things that contradict your ethical viewpoints, like we were talking about earlier, like he's using his platform to get on these technical technical advances. So for
and
Facebook,
he's making money and doing it himself, because look at the end of his career. If you watch the Niners and you remember the Niners, the last year of his career wasn't the most productive. Like, defenses were able to read his his draws where he was leading with his back foot, how he couldn't read defenses. So as a player, he went down. So the speculation was to get him to keep him
What are you
relevant,
talking about, bro? Like, he was very relevant.
right? He
was
became that.
relevant in
But to the sports
2014,
fans,
15,
right?
and 16, right? Those are the 3 years that he was the most relevant because we were back-to-back championships.
Right. You couldn't help but because of not just him, but the whole team of the way the Niners were made. But the sports fans are saying, they were saying back then, oh, he was garbage. He was going to go. He was on his way out. But they did this shit to Alex Smith and then traded him out to Kansas City Chiefs. And they're like, oh, well, Colin's supposed to be our star boy. And then when they got the read on him and Colin couldn't read defenses, all of a sudden his stats started going down. His scramble were red. I mean, he went to the Super Bowl.
It wasn't all about Colin with the 49ers. It was our defense, bro. Our defense.
Oh, it was garbage that year.
No. Our defense kept us in. Anyway, we're getting off track. The point is, like, he took a stand and used his platform. Just like a lot of these millennials and people who are getting on these social media apps, and they get on there.
And he used Nike. Remember, he wasn't even playing. He got premiered by Nike the next year.
Yeah. And he's still with Nike. A lot of his commercials are with Nike. I mean, you look at it; it's still a whole big ass establishment. When he does the things that he's saying that he's doing, it's like, where are you taking the narrative, bro? But before I get any further, man, we do have like 7 messages, bro.
Hey, yo, check it out. How do I slide out, man? I'm about to get situated over here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, but if you want me to mute you, I mean, I can do that, and it just shows us, or if you want to come back and you need to get ready or whatever, we understand.
All right,
yeah. So let me go ahead and run some of these messages, man. We have Aaron, Yasharal, Prototype A, Sloan, Joey Bag of Donuts. So let's go ahead and start it off with. Let's go ahead and do ladies first. You know what I'm saying? Let's go ahead and run it.
Oh, you wouldn't agree that? So they even have designated like places of worship. Like, you're not allowed to go to your own place of worship. They have mosque, right? You're not allowed to speak up against public outcry, right? You say these people are getting paid millions of dollars, but how much is your body worth? Just because they've negotiated more than the common man would, that doesn't make them entitled. To me, it seems like this league is definitely not a proponent of the advancement of Black enterprise. I just want to say how I feel. I mean, I'll be happy to talk about it with anybody.
Oh yeah, we can create a whole ass show. Whenever we get another blank canvas in the building, man, we can definitely have you on. I would love to have.
We can do it next Saturday if you want.
Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, we'll talk about it at the end of the show. We also have Salone in the building. Let's go and run it.
No show. Tell 72 Architect. I say, what's up? I'm feeling the vibes. I'm loving the information. I'm here. I'm locked in.
Thank you, bad girl or bad woman.
My bad. She's cool. Yeah, always a good supporter.
Aaron, Yasharal, let's get it, bro.
Hey, that's that dude off Instagram, man. The what is it? God's an angel or whatever.
Let me play it one time and see if I get it.
Hey, that's that dude off Instagram, man. The what is it? God's an angel or whatever.
Maybe out of context. I'm not really. My bad. You might have to call in and let us know, bro. Let me play his other message real quick.
The thing is that slavery's advanced, where it's like, okay, we can give the slaves breadcrumbs, sorry, if we can get the whole cake or bread.
Yeah, do it in the mind first. Why do it? Why put people in chains? Makes you look bad.
Basketball players are only promoting basketball and marrying blonde chicks, right? So let's get them doing that. and then keep all of the symbolic features of the stock of a slave within the sporting industry. So they're still slaves, they're still being treated as such and seen as such, but we're giving them a penny and then flaunting them in front of the world to say, look, people of color, so they call us, can have a shot in the system.
What are you saying, Jay?
Yeah, I mean, oh shit, I just forgot. I read a text message from a lady, so sorry
That's
about
okay.
that.
So yeah, it is like the principles of it I can see in lieu of slavery. Yeah, I get that. Yeah. My thing is he shouldn't be trying to go back to that slave ship that he was so promoting. You see what I'm saying? Like that's the only problem that I had, where he was fighting against trying to get back in, and then he belittles the same establishment that gave him millions and millions of dollars. Now, is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Subjectivity, right? If you have any answers to that, by all means, call in, share with us, because where I stand on it and alone, I just think it's crazy. It's crazy that it came down to this. Like now we're looking at who he was, what he stood for, to where he's going at now, and the messaging behind it. I mean, this dude's a millionaire. You know what I'm saying? He's done a lot in the community. He's supported a lot of those who needed, schooling stuff. I think that was one of the things that he did. He gave kids backpacks, books, and gave them a one up in the education system. I'm behind that. The problem is that you're trying to go back to the same company that you deemed as slavery. That was the only thing. But we got Joey Bag of Donuts, man.
Hey, this Colin Kaepernick guy, he made the same mistake a lot of mixed race people do, right? He's not 100% black, right? He's got like white ancestors or something like that. I know he was raised in like upper middle class or privilege or whatever you want to call it, like nice area.
He was adopted.
What he did was he came to his own like maturity level when he was already famous, right? So you ever meet somebody that's like mixed race in high school, and then they usually come out and they want to reject the one side of like their background, you know? They usually go like full on like African studies and stuff like that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. You need to know your fucking where you come from, what cloth you come from, you know? But we're all human beings, right? There's one race, the human race. There's not a whole bunch of different, just different colors and different ethnicities and heritages and traditions and stuff like that. That's all it is. The only difference is it's social differences, nothing else. But that's the mistake he made. He came out. Excuse me, he went like too hardcore the one way, and he pissed people off.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I have a problem with this. Okay, so I've been saying it for so long on all my platforms. What is the spelling difference between race and your ethnicity race? There's no difference, really. But if you want to talk about it, let's really point at this shit out right now. It's your prejudice. And what prejudice, look at the word prejudge. You judicate your decision making on people, not just color, not just language, but your qualification, your physicality, your fiscal value. So let's really call for what. Stop people. You know what, people? I'm an advocate for this movement. Stop using racism as your identifier. It's prejudice. Call the shit out for what it really is. You prefer. And use your language effectively, and stop being so fucking stupid about using a word that you know they use against us to compete against each other. Because I ain't running no fucking race against anybody else. I'm not.
You sound like you straight up from you fucking stupid.
You are, man. Come on. Like, look, I catch a lot of shit.
Okay.
I catch a lot of shit, but you know what? If you really pay attention to what I'm saying, you know I'm right. Because and you know what creates more prejudices, which people identify as racism, is knowing that we have to be always separate or not. Here's the biggest things. It's important to know your history, but it's more important to know your presence. Your presence, your value, your digital currency right now is your brand, your calling card. And if you keep on thinking and peddling that you don't know your past, or this guy stole this shit from you, guess what? You're wasting so much time. You do it progressively, but you are having to do things collaboratively and inclusive, because no one can isolate themselves. Like if you were to say, okay, take all Hispanics and isolate them, and then take all Asians, isolate them, and then all Black people, where would you really be? You wouldn't cross-pollinate. You would not have the technologies. And guess what? Someone is going to be at the top of the heap, and they're going to tell you, well, this kingdom, they got more shit, and we're going to have to go steal that. That's tyranny 101. Straight up, that is tyranny.
Yo.
Like empires did that. Genghis Khan did it. Alexander the Great did it. I mean, you name it. That's how they did. That's how they conquered people.
They
but
use their
now,
platforms. That's
yeah,
kind of
and
what
now we
we're
have
talking
digital
about today,
currency.
ladies and gentlemen. We're really looking at the ability of looking into tech and how tech has built a platform for all of us to use, and then be able to use that platform for either motivational experiences, reaching out to people who may have suicidal tendencies, just whatever it may be. We're creating a system that helps gear people either to build their mental awareness mental awareness up, or establish themselves with real estate, maybe their own personal business. And when you look at tech or tyrants, you look at what has been created to what has been created to destroy what's been already established. And today we're looking into a lot of things, man. We touched on a lot, and right now we're into the fix of it.
2 hours and 25 minutes, which usually is past our time.
It's usually past. We on this hoe. We on it. But we got like 9+ messages. I'm gonna run them through, and then we're gonna nip this show in the butt, hopefully. Yeah, man. For those who are listening, I thank you. So please keep the calls to a minimum. We're just gonna let everybody be heard. So let's go ahead and run it.
Just shut up and dribble, shut up and pass the ball. That to me is saying, I don't care what you think. I don't care what you're here for entertainment purposes only. And it's akin to a cockfight. And I don't care how you say it or how much you pay me. You are paying me to entertain you, and I have no opinion about what goes on. So I definitely can have some empathy and see it from their point of view, it being a modern day form of slavery.
Love it. Salone, you up next.
Why are you trying to call me out? I know I need to stop eating bread and rice to lose this damn weight. I know.
Put that.
Yo, are you in a hallway yelling? Come on now.
She in the hallway.
I gotta be heard.
She got to go get some of that Wonder Bread right now. She like, damn it.
I've got my headphones on. I don't have the volume high, but I was like, oh, whoa, I gotta create some airspace on that one.
Yeah, I saw you, dog. You pulled your ears off your head. It's crazy. I love to you, bad woman. We still love you, though. Don't worry. Eat your bread, girl.
Lots of love.
Also, doesn't Kaepernick, you said him his stats went down, his head got out of the game. And I mean, when you test an athlete like that, they're doing basically like a physical on him. But of course, it's a whole job is like your mental capacity and your fucking physical capabilities. I mean, that's like when you join the police force or something. You got to go through the training camp and all whatever they call it. What do they call it? Yeah, the academy, right?
Yeah, the academy.
Just like you join the military, they want to do a physical on you and make sure you're not going to go out there and get other people hurt. You know what I mean? Same thing with football. You're an athlete. Your body is your worth. I mean, if you go to a job for like an IT thing, they're going to do a background check. They want to see the stuff you did, see what you're capable of. It's the same thing. You got to remember, they're giving these guys millions of fucking dollars to play a game. It's silly, really, that we give a shit about it. You know what I mean? But it's voluntarily. Nobody went around and threw nets over people and took them to football training camp. These guys train their whole life to do this.
Yeah, big ups, man. I like that comment, Joey, back at Donuts, man. Big ups, man. We still got some more messages from Joey as well as Aaron, man. Let's go ahead and run it, Aaron.
There was the dudes on just before who was posing to be God. There's a Instagram page where there's these two guys. One of them's pretending to be God. Another one's one of his angels, and they talk about topics. They're usually like a minute long, like a comedy sketch. And he sounded exactly like him. It's probably the same guy.
Oh, was that one of the people that called in? Oh, you talking about God Almighty that called in that sounded like one of those. Okay. Yo, he does have a great voice, man. I hope to hear him. I actually want to see if he's still in the building, but if he's not, man, yeah, he does have a great voice. I actually thought he was a sports announcer from the past, man. But yeah, thank you for that clarification, dude. We got Joey up again real quick.
Doesn't he have like a contract with Nike or something like that? I mean, you can go on like one of those Chinese websites where you buy stuff. Like you can get white label things, make your own sneakers. You can sell your own Air Jordans if you want to. You can put your name on the side and all that. But he's got a contract with them. That just he hawks them sneakers for like. Look, I bought a pair of them knockoff Jordans online, $17. They're made in the same town, in a factory right across and down the street from where they make the real Nikes. You know what I mean? They can make them and sell them to me and ship them from China for $17. They're made out of leather and rubber and all, probably all the same shit the other ones are made out of. But he's going to sell his for like $200 or $300 or something like that, or $150, even $100. And what does Shaquille O'Neal do? He's a real guy that people should look up to. He made them sneakers for people to buy at Target for like $25, right? Because he said he's tired of kids having shitty shoes, the poor kids, and then like the parents are paying all that money for them. For what? Because it has Jordan's name on the side? Fuck Jordan. He didn't do nothing for the community. He just took money. That's all.
Like I said, yeah, man. Shaq used his platform. He created a way for it to be accessible for others that don't have the finances that he does, which is another reason why this show is important, because we're looking at the way we value the tech world and how it can become tyrannical. So just remember that, ladies and gentlemen. We have 7 more messages. Let's go ahead and run it.
Yeah, you can't bring up an issue and then go back to the issue. Excuse me, that makes no sense.
Yeah, appreciate you, bro.
In my opinion, anyone at that sort of caliber of fame, if they are actually going against the system, they won't be alive for like 48 hours. There is an agenda to stir up racial issues and to cause division, lack of understanding, to provoke. And I think this guy is definitely an agent of that agenda.
Right. So now that platform is really speaking on where he stands as the individual. Now people are calling him an agent in disguise, which is the problem, man. Right? For what he stood for at the beginning, now he's an agent in disguise. Yo, Joey, bag of donuts, you're up.
All right, no, I'm not trying to be ignorant. I stopped following that guy, because you don't take your political views and things to work. You know what I mean? NFL's work. It's a job. That's where you get a paycheck from the company, right? Just like everybody. You know what would happen if you went to Starbucks and voiced your political opinions and stuff? They fucking fire you. They did. There was a Christian girl in the newspaper. I don't even know where town she was from, but she didn't want to wear the rainbow shirt, the pride shirt. She's like, I don't agree with that lifestyle. She's like, and the handbook says I can, as long as I wear a Starbucks uniform, like a T-shirt or whatever they normally give them, I should be able to. The boss fired it. His boss he was obviously, I think they reported like he was a LGBTQ, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. He was a gay guy, right? I'm old school. He was a gay dude, right? So he fired it. And then, like, nobody's going to take the case. She was wrongfully terminated. She was following the guidelines in the handbook that they give you the thing. But I mean,
well, I got
yeah, I
something
like
to say about
what you
that.
said there. Yeah, you say prejudice. I say bigotry, because you don't have to prejudge someone. You know what I mean? You could just be bigoted towards people, like, because prejudging, that kind of like alludes to the fact that you might meet them. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I didn't meet this. I judged that guy before I met him. But you could be bigoted to people you never even met, right? So, like, you just say, I hate all, Mexican people. But you don't even you haven't met all Mexican people, so you can't say that. You're just ignorant. I say bigoted, you say prejudice. I understand it's the same idea. I never say racist or racism or nothing like that, because everybody that does, they don't really understand. They don't even know their heritage half the time. You know what I mean? A lot of people from, like, Southern Europe and stuff like that have African blood in them. For instance, the Wayans brothers, they did one of them DNA tests, and they did that show with that guy. Turns out they're all from Asia. None of them are African at all. But see that they're still black. But I mean, is the Indian guy black because he's brown?
Okay, so a few things. I mean, the preference. I mean, how this translates. I mean, this conversation could go on and on. But to sum up what we're really trying to focus, the topic of the show is tech and tyrants, tech or tyrants. As far as the NFL is concerned, when Colin Kaepernick started the kneeling, I watched Jerry Jones and 42 other football players all take a knee. in 1 week, and then in the other week get threatened to lose their jobs. So politics and business they are hand in hand. Big business doesn't like being told what to do and how to handle their money, let alone how to handle their fan base, because they also lost a big support. I mean, I was reading some kind of statistical report that the Black community had stopped, literally for a few weeks, had stopped watching on television the NFL, and it took away millions and millions of dollars. And that's when we started to recognize that the African American or Black viewership and patronage to paying for and shopping and buying these things, without it, it did not make the big bucks. So what did they do? They created an atmosphere saying this is anti-America to get, to take the prejudice individuals and groups to say, well, it's anti-American. You're not really for America. Let me gaslight you up by not recognizing the flag. Now, guess what? I've served this country. I have the right to bear that flag on my chest or my shoulder. I understand that I've stood to protect. Doesn't matter what color, what language, where you come from, immigrant, non-immigrant. You're in the States. Guess what? My job at a time of my life was to protect and serve. And I don't get to choose, but somebody above me, someone who got to call shots, who got to sit in a nice suit and call things and make decisions for us and make policies to send people like me overseas to further business. Because we've seen genocide in so many different countries and we don't lift a damn finger. So to say that politics and sports don't commingle, no. Politics and business run sports. They are the gladiators. That's what Colin Kaepernick was saying in his documentary on Netflix. He's saying of how the human beings are being reviewed, prodded, and primed of whether are you good enough. And what's happening in the digital world, we're also applying. If you don't have creativity and you are not going to fall in line, you will fall off and you will starve and you'll be a part of the many victims who did not want to conform. So what do? Either conform and go along, or conform, work along, and tear up their ideas, be smart enough to make your own decisions, be active in the world, and not let it just digitally take you over. So that's what I want to say.
Yo, we got oh yeah, he's back, man. the beautiful voice guy is back, man.
All right.
We're gonna finish Joey Bag of Donuts and then Aaron Yasharal. His messages.
Cut it off.
Then we got God next.
Joey. These people have been told that they were mixed race, all whilst being treated like a black person. So this is when they get to the age of like mid-20s, late 20s. They go, no, I'm black, because they're just light skinned, like melanated people come in all different shades, and you are whatever your father is. And black genetics are 2/3 more dominant, so there is no half. They are more so than not, and they're not white either, so they're black.
Yo, appreciate you, Aaron. Yo, Joey, you're up.
Hey, sorry for blowing up the comments, but this is a touchy subject. It really bothers me. It pains me to see people, neighbors, thinking that they're against each other, but they don't never even fucking is. You know what I mean? I live in a multicultural neighborhood. Everybody on my block, pretty much everybody on my block has a different heritage that they come from. I got some Polish people. I got some Filipino people here. I got some, I think they're Puerto Rican down the street there. Some guy who's I don't know. I don't go down the other end of the block. I always go out the other way. My one neighbor's just a white guy. We got this older black couple across the street, and the nice young black family down there. They got like 3 or 4 kids. And that's pretty much it. There's not that many houses. I live in the suburbs. I moved out of the city because it's fucking crazy. And I don't like living in that rat race there. But everybody gets along. We're cordial to each other. No one goes, oh, here comes that fucking whatever that guy is, I don't put labels on people. Nobody ever said, hey, you're a white guy. I never said that about myself. Other people did. Stop putting labels on yourself. Stop letting other people put it.
You're coding. That's what people are doing.
Hey, like, at your job, can you just go and tell the boss what you're going to do and how you're going to do it and, like, what your opinion is about certain things? No, they don't really care. You're there to make them money. You know what I mean? And that's the problem they don't teach you. If you start your own business, you're your earning potential is unlimited. You know what I mean? Like, just take a, I'm not a big fan of Walmart and stuff like that, but one guy started that fucking store, Sam Walton, right? Now imagine he
And
just went to
sold it
work
to
at
the
the local
Chinese.
drugstore, at the corner store, something like that. He would have never been a fucking super duper billionaire, like super power fucking wacko guy like he is now, right? Or his family is. So, if you look at it like it's a job, they're not basketball players. They're people who play basketball. They're not football players. They're people who play football. They just have higher paying jobs than us. And the more money you make, the more responsibility you have and the more stress people are going to put on you. You know what I mean? But there's also like white athletes, right? They do get told the same thing.
Right. So that goes into the owning of these establishments, right? They own the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right? Person owns that establishment. They set the rules, the standards. If you don't live by it, you can get chucked. If you do live by it, you'll proceed with the protocol, and that's their platform. That's their underlining land that they own, and then that you're working on that land. It's technically your job to produce whatever it is, whatever crops, whatever yield that they need from you. You're producing stats, you're producing information and numbers that they can build with a data sheet. And with that technical advancement in today's society, that can become tyrannical. Do we, 72, you just literally said, when black people stopped watching the NFL, their numbers went down by the millions, right?
Millions.
And in order for them to recoup that money, they had to go back to their platform, look at the data, and then come up with a resource to enable that next profit margin. You're talking about bringing them back in. And what did they do? They had all the teams hold hands together in unison, but still play the racial.
I watched Jerry Jones walk out on the field, walk on the field hand in hand, and they all kneeled. Old man kneeling down in Texas Stadium or Dallas in the Cowboy Stadium, kneel down, and the next few falling Wooks initiates and puts out a letter, says anyone who keeps kneeling is going to lose their job. Straight up.
One time and one and done, right? But we have two final messages from God Almighty, and then we're done. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
Well, I have to say thank you for your service. It is an amazing thing to see a human make a choice to be selfless to protect other people that they have not even met. It's a noble, honorable thing. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Big tech is now the propaganda machine. Back in the I think after or during the Korean conflict, which was a war, every war the United States loses, they deem a conflict or something like that. The U.S. government allowed propaganda to be used against its own citizens, and then Bush, that evil son of a bitch, he reinforced it by doing the Patriot Act and all that, where he could spy on us. And news organizations today, right wing or left wing, they're not independent. They're paid for by big.
Oh shit!
Yo, he has one more, bro. One more.
One more. I've heard the blips coming in. Sorry, folks, we're not taking. If you want to view us in the future for Blank Canvas, download Haps. Telling you all.
Download Haps. We're on Haps right now. Video, everything. You get it all. I'm just gonna play his last one because after him, I said I wasn't gonna play no more. So Joey, I'm sorry for the last message, but I am God damn it is about to reign supreme on us. Let's get it.
Sorry, my comment went too long. I'm long-winded, but I'm old. I'm infinity. I was infinity when you were born also. So, that being said, I've seen a lot, done a lot, had a lot of parties too. Woo, look out. 70s or something. Yes, the propaganda machine is in full swing. If you want to find some interesting things out about Google and the Google servers, I suggest reading a book by Shoshana Zuboff. It's called Surveillance Capitalism. She also did a movie. You believe you can still find it on YouTube. It is eye-opening, and it will really keep you limiting yourself on big tech paid and funded corporations like Google and Facebook and all these things. Yeah, check it out. It's pretty scary.
He's killing it, man. He's just
I
killing
fucking
it.
love this guy, bro. I had to hit him with the follow ASAP,
Dude,
man.
you notice how many messages you went through, and you just hear the bleep, 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 bleep.
I'm telling you, man. So for ladies and gentlemen, for joining the show, for those who have called in and took part in this Blank Canvas Season 2 episode Trice. Right? Trice? Today's?
3. Yeah, it's episode
No,
3.
Trice. Trice is the American version. Trace is the Spanish version.
one. Yeah.
Gotcha. Thank you for joining us on this. For those who are on stereo, I will end this show and leave you with a farewell. Thank you for joining us. Hope to catch you on the next time we go live.
Follow our link trees, follow our links, subscribe on Haps, please, ladies and gentlemen, or follow us on YouTube. We will be producing Blank Canvas in the future. We haven't made a plan of how many episodes or what the season is. When we come on, be a part of the show, add your comments. We'll read them out loud. If you're on stereo, we will do it from time to time on stereo and also Wisdom and other platforms. So you can do that. Follow us up, join up, subscribe and like. We need your help. Do this. And that's pretty much it for me, man.
Big ups. Yeah. So for those on stereo, man, love and respect. Joey, if you want to stay in touch, man, hit me up on my Telegram, man. We'll talk some more. Just hit my little icon face and then we'll talk on Telegram. Outside of that, we out, ladies and gentlemen.